Let me see.
So, Tiny, why did you post Squirt Queen in the Roll20?
Yeah, that's fine.
The stream's
Oh,
up,
good.
by the way.
Yeah. I figured. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, that's perfect for us to
timer.
catch on.
Ex-
Oh wait. Why does it say? Hold on. No.
You need to
I'm
refresh.
getting it. Yes.
We are professionals.
We are. Don't act like we aren't.
We are.
I just said we were professionals, Mel. What did
GM
you?
Caleb, can I please have a crumb of VOD music?
Yes, give me a moment.
Thank you. Tony, are you gonna post that in the crew streams? They're only doing mostly video game streams, so
Okay.
we could.
I'll put us in crew streams.
Lads, we juicing our own numbers.
Don't say it like
Juicing
that. That's so
Don't
gross.
say
and
that.
weird.
No.
I start closing my 30 bot accounts I have watching the stream.
I already hate this.
Alright, can everyone hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it. Ooh, that's good.
Okay.
I can't believe you did the vocals for this, Caleb.
Thank you. I'm actually really cool.
Cringe.
Alright.
Don't
I
say
tested
that.
my mic. I sound
I'm
awful.
That's our
joking.
GM. That's our GM we're talking about. Yeah, do you want to just have us sit back for a bit and let people flood in, or do you want to get started already, or what are you thinking?
Give it a second, make sure everyone's all good. We'll explain a bit, and then go over the start.
Excellent. I'm just gonna check the stream. We are in perfect darkness.
Yeah, I put it in darkness because I didn't know if I should show the characters or not. Yeah.
Well, Tiny, that's smart. Good for you. I'm glad.
Wait, how'd you get it in darkness? Where the
I
fuck?
scrolled up to the
Is
dark
it?
part because I've dynamic
Oh.
lighting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Courts, I forgot. You can simply put your screen elsewhere but where your character is.
Damn.
Imagine
Ain't
if your
that the
eyes were
trick?
locked in place.
He shift pings, so you have no choice.
I keep looking at the fact that I have this Joker emote in Discord and wanting to use it so badly, but there's just never a good time, is there?
The dang Joker.
So let's see.
The Joker baby.
We want to go ahead and get started then?
No, I think we should riff for another half hour.
I think we should actually-
No.
build the.
I think we should delay session for another 30 minutes, actually.
No.
This is a just chatting stream now.
Yeah, so anyways, how's everybody doing?
No.
Like, what have you been doing on the
No, for
weekend?
the love of God, somebody start.
Can we do
Alright.
introductions?
So, yes. Let's see here. I'm gonna get some new music on in a second, but to start, yeah, welcome to Deep in Thought. Let's see, so this game is essentially one where the players are trapped within a mind flayer prison, one hidden far away from most of the rest of the world and whatnot.
If there even is a rest of the world.
There even is a rest of the world. The existence of such is incredibly dubious to them, but life here isn't the greatest, of course, and most anything would be preferable to living in such a place. Let's see. Are there any kind of general questions from the players who we'll go over? I'm Caleb, the GM, and the players here are Mel, Tiny,
Hi.
the channel owner,
Hello.
Juan,
Yo.
Quiche,
Hi.
and Tambo.
Howdy.
And if we're to believe his lies, Regef, somewhere in the shadows.
Lurking.
One day
One
he'll
day.
be here. But yeah, the intro should explain a fair little bit, but are there any questions before we begin and get this started?
Let me
Don't
think.
I have
think
one
so.
question.
Okay.
Hi, Caleb.
Hello, Tiny.
Is there
have
a
a
question mark
question.
in that statement at all?
No.
Or are you okay? Cool.
I have,
Yaki?
I have a quick question, actually. Why do kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
All right, kick
So-
Danny out.
We're down a
Alright.
player.
Okay, yeah, we're down to player tonight.
You need you now.
Peach is actually getting put in real jail for being bad. I mean, I could say like what system we're using? We're using 5e if anyone's curious. A couple of homebrew rules, I believe, from Mr. Caleb. A couple of homebrewed backgrounds and so on and so forth.
Yeah, there are some homebrewed backgrounds using some of the just a few of the optional rulings from the DMG, the fear mechanics, lingering injuries, and tumbling, pretty much.
Which is very cool, and thank you very much for reading the DMG, unlike 90% of all GMs. God.
Reading's, in fact, a great skill that I possess.
Really?
Could you
Yeah,
Caleb,
imagine?
you have
reading-
literacy? Dude, that's so cool. I can't read.
To top it off as well, some things that might not entirely be mentioned but will come up is that there are sets of laws within here that the players themselves will be aware of, but that might be referenced here and then. Tiny should be able to bring those up and go through them now if he wishes, or whenever they do come up. As well, there is no traditional currency, no gold and silver and things like that, as that is sort of outlawed and banned here. Instead, what is used are meal scrolls, which are typically turned in to get your meals for the day. They come in different varieties for different kind of tiers of meals for depending on how well one works and things like that. And in this, they are used and traded as a form of currency, as well as gemstones. There will be interactions with the Underdark in this campaign, and so from mining, people obviously bring up gemstones and the like, and utilize them as a form of currency.
Excellent. Now, Caleb, if I do remember correctly, part of the reason why, of course, we don't use gold or traditional sort of precious minerals is because everyone is expected to eat them if they're available, and rations aren't. They're very delicious, nutritious. Everyone, of course, has developed a metabolism in this world, like a goat.
Actually, everyone doesn't have the metabolism of a goat, but they have a stone in their neck that they kind of swing around to crush the stones, to grind them to a fine powder.
Welcome to Deep in
Yes,
Thought, also known as the campaign titled "The Wizard and the Gizzard."
And the lizard.
Oh god. All right. So, if that's it, I will begin.
I mean, I have a lot more stand-up to go through, Caleb, but if you want to go right ahead.
Time is over, Mel. You're getting dragged off the
Oh,
stage with a
damn
big
it.
bang.
All right. Here we go. Far past the continents of Vuth, deep below the Brattleboro Atoll, and just above the gaping maw of a tunnel to the Underdark, lies an old fortress of immense size. Its creators, long gone, forgotten and undocumented, yet the fort itself is not uninhabited. Hidden from prying eyes of the world above, the Illithids, brain-eating creatures with cephalopodic heads, stow away within the halls of this old place, and for hundreds of years have made it their own. However, within it they are not alone, as many an unfortunate soul call this place, this prison, their home. Thousands of humanoids are held here in secret as laborers and cattle, and have only known this place, with the knowledge of a world outside being but a fantastical tale that is often weaved in secret behind the backs of their captors, if it hasn't been erased entirely from their minds already. Escape is often seen as a futile attempt. Outside the walls lie expansive ocean depths whose pressure would crush even giants, and below that lies the many untold dangers of the Underdark, open and ready for anyone to step into, should they truly seek a way out. Hope here shines in no direction, leaving all who seek it lost. The inhabitants here must now learn to light their own path in the umbral depths, to yearn for a freedom that may not exist, and to outthink their nigh omnipotent captors that already lie deep in thought.
Hey, you got the...
Oh, you got the title in it and
You
everything.
said the
Roll title screen.
He said the line.
All right, that's the end of the session, everybody. Thank you for coming out. We'll continue next month.
Whoa.
Did you just shut your ass up, Mel?
No.
Now it's time to start.
We look here now to a place on the outskirts of this prison deep below the waves. A mind flayer floats down in grandiose manner from a porthole in the ceiling, their preferred method of travel that most others cannot utilize. It lands onto a large platform facing out into a sizable cobblestone courtyard with descending stairwells scattered around it. The Mind Flayer's eyes glow a deep purple, as runes under the platform's rug does much the same. Rise, the morning has come. You will exit your holdings for roll call. A telepathic voice rings out, signaling the start of a new day. Mel, would you like to describe your character?
Sure. You see sort of a figure beginning to walk out into the main foyer. She is wearing a thick sort of pair of goggles, glasses. It's not entirely certain. She walks with kind of a stoop. And it's clear that she is very old and human. Not very old, I should say, around her early 60s. Her dark red robes trail behind her with pointed pauldrons of steel hanging from the sides of her shoulders. It looks as though she's wearing some kind of necklace, although the symbol on it is hidden underneath her various layers of clothing. And she sort of slowly drifts out and stands in front of the Mind Flayer with about as good a posture as she can at her age. She stands perfectly still for a moment before beckoning with her hand back towards her room.
As well, Tiny, I see on the stream that some assets have not loaded.
Oh. Should I refresh?
Yeah.
Dang. Oh, wait, is he not there? He's not there for you. None of the tokens are there for you. That's funny. On Tiny Stream, there's just a purple rune circle right here.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, huh, what's going on?
Don't worry, he's invisible.
Advanced
That-
Mind Flayer technology, you see.
Oh, I know what these little guys are. I saw these. Oh, I'm scared. I don't like...
Where am I?
Music is just a smidge loud.
Yeah, I saw and lowered it some.
I'm in darkness.
Can you not see?
I can't see anymore. I think my Roll20 is really laggy. Hold on.
Oh no.
It's okay. This is what Theater of the Mind was made for, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just come up with something in your head. It's probably correct.
If you want to think about sort of how D&D is, this is actually normal. This is normal what happens.
Here, For now, I can turn dynamic lighting off as it's not too important for this map.
Yeah, that might actually be what's messing Tiny up, because normally you don't have any problems, I don't think, with stuff.
There you
right?
I can see now.
Oh no,
Okay.
I hope dynamic lighting's not a consistent problem. That would be unfortunate. Everyone can see.
Let's see all.
There we go. So yes, Tiny as well. Could you describe your character?
Yes. Ayemi is a elven girl. She's got a kind of long dress and some really large glasses. Like they're kind of huge. And in her forehead is a diamond that kind of shines a little bit. Don't call her a nerd, but she is a nerd. If I can grab my character, this would be.
You're on. I think you're. No, you're good.
Huh.
I
Let
will
me.
refresh again.
Yeah, and let me make sure you actually have control of your character. I'm pretty sure you do
I
because you were
did
editing it.
2 seconds ago.
You didn't move her there.
Yeah, I did move her.
She
Good.
drove me
I
here.
have control of her character now. I am Amy.
Don't worry, it's fine. Caleb can move you like some kind of Weekend at Bernie's corpse puppet if need be.
Man, I hate that.
Come on, it's fitting for the setting. Don't be mean to me. Uh-oh. I think Tiny's getting some fun notifications from Roll20 that tells it that it hates him.
Yeah, it's what it's really
Someone's
seeming like right now.
Murdering me right now. I don't know what's wrong with my.
If worse comes to worse, it's fine. We can switch the stream over to Tambo, easy. Tambo loves
things
streaming.
Are moving.
I love
They're
streaming.
not
I've
lagging,
not.
but I can't move my
Give me-
character. Hold on.
Give me like 20 minutes to download
Okay, I
the
can
new
move this
update.
one.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe your
So-
token got updated or something.
Maybe.
Just make a new one, lol.
So Ayemi kind of
It's just
walks forward very quickly.
Come, child, come.
Yes. Okay.
Luna kind
So-
of smooths out her skirt a little bit, and Ayemi's with a quick sort of flap of the wrist. Excellent.
So let me see. Luna, you and Ayemi step from your rooms into the courtyard. Accommodations and expectations have been much higher from you. Being this section of the prison's head priest, and a well-behaved one at that, seems to have led them to trust you with this roommate of sorts. You've never seen them before, and they've only been with you in this room for about a week, appearing after several troublesome things happened around this section of the prison. Quite a few rowdy prisoners and attacks on places took place, and now there is a lot less people than there was before. Ayemi, this has all been a very new experience for you, having been kept at a different part of the prison for quite some time now, where things tended to work a bit differently. Waking up in this manner likely still hasn't grown on you yet. Yet it's perhaps somewhat liberating to be in more open space and not being made to work or do other things the very first thing in the morning. So, next one. To describe your character.
Out from the fucking rubble and all the trash you would ever find that you couldn't possibly find in a room emerges a small ass fucking gray goblin. A red tongue lurches forward from his mouth. He's literally dressed in tatters, fucking brown ass pants, and a red vest that also seemingly is holding up like this big like canister on his back, of which there's a tube connecting to his head. He's like, you see, he's kind of lazily lurching forward. Equilibrium might not all be there. So, slowly he comes out.
This isn't the first time I assume we have seen you, yes?
Crusty.
We've seen you many times before, I would hope. Otherwise, this would be a very disturbing situation.
Maybe, I don't know.
Nice. You've all shared this prison section with each other for some time. At least you and Bubbles have, Luna.
She makes a face not at the fact that he is a goblin or anything, but more at the fact that he looks like he has been through a hard night, which is how he looks every day, I assume.
That's how he looks every second of his life. So you see, part of his head is replaced just with metal and glass. He's like, oh. Let's say, Luna, he grabs your, like, are you wearing like a robe or something?
Yes, a robe.
He grabs
like
a piece of the robe and he blows his nose on it.
Flashy.
Are you okay?
He's never okay, dear. It's perfectly fine. Good morning, Bubbles.
Hi.
See. Bubbles, the odd artifact on your back, whirs and hisses and lulls your mind as it does each morning to some degree. You lurched forward to your feet and feel that usual numbness wash over you. And trudging past the hazardous mess that is the floor of your room, you've stepped outside and into roll call. And with that, Tambo, could you describe your character?
Hello, that's me. I'm Tambourine. So in this room over here, there is a little bit of rustling, a little bit of clinking and clunking, and out steps a lady, a woman. It's hard to tell exactly how old she is because I haven't thought of that out of character. She's currently dressed in currently dressed in some just blue clothes with a big leather apron on, and is currently sort of idly like humming and whistling as you see that she's carrying a little garden trough. And I say probably the most notable thing about them, if you take more than the thing that your eyes are most likely drawn to, are the fact that I'd say a good third of the front of her face is covered in a sort of weirdly undulating mat of fungi of varying varieties, despite the fact that there is no wind.
It's fungal mold.
It's both of them.
Fungalicious.
Damn straight.
Fungalicious definition makes.
Hate it.
She sort of moseys on out, twirling the little garden trowel in her hands in her one free hand as she does, and makes her way out.
So yeah, go ahead.
Luna, are mushrooms supposed to grow out of people's faces? I haven't read that before.
Please, dear, call me Miss Crane. And she looks again over at Lavender with a twinge of like, for like a second before calming her expression. Typically, no. If that is to happen to you, you are going to see me or one of the other healers around here immediately.
Okay.
Sort of moseys. Yeah, she's now over here, sort of just idly standing around, still humming and muttering to herself.
So yes, Lavender, you step out, and though, despite the somewhat kind of cheery demeanor, you'd be slightly aware that some things have not been going too well for you recently. More and more of your assistants in the line of work the Mind Flayers have you in have been getting taken away for health complaints and other hazardous materials that could jeopardize the health of those that you work with.
It's fine. I can just make more.
I can feel every single air.
You know,
But-
it's irritating, but that's life.
Regardless
No, I guess not, but you know what I mean.
regardless of this, it is still thankfully a wonder that the pure fact that your assistants are created as they are has not landed you in any trouble, given some of the rules and problems they have with odd happenings. But following all of you are the rest of your cellmates that soon come out. Let me see. You can get to know a bit about in time, but at the moment, as everyone needlessly steps from their rooms, well aware at this point that if someone were to actually be missing, the Lithid would probably already be aware and not even have called for roll call. Your minds...
It's security theater, right? That's what it is.
It's security theater. But your minds pulse and twinge once again in closer proximity to it as it speaks to you within your minds. You see, stating that the productivity of this cell block has shown underperformance compared to those among it. Due to this, you have all been given the period of 1 year to remedy this statistic before replacements within this block must occur. And as he says that, you do likely denote that your block is technically missing 2 people. One cell is permanently quite destroyed due to someone in the past having had trying to make an escape of sorts and thus flooding their cell. The Mind Flayers didn't see a need to fix it and thus just blocked it up. And one of your cells technically still doesn't have a person. You're aware Ayemi, whether she works or not, whatever she does, doesn't actually really contribute to whatever odd, unseen statistic they are mentioning. But despite these downfalls in your cell block area, you're probably quite aware that they're still holding you to the standards of every other block, and very much do not care that you are low on people. It speaks once again, saying, "Our generosity, however, has extended to you all several offers to help remedy this. Should our opinion of your lethargy be misplaced, you will find another Illithid, and they will relay to you what we have need of. That will be all for this morning's roll call. Remain obedient."
And if you want to head down to the mess hall, we got pancakes this morning. Diana says she's making her homemade syrup. I don't know where she's getting that because we don't got maple trees down there. Anyways, bye.
I will have you make an int save.
He's not telling us about the fucking syrup.
He's not telling her.
And he never will.
Luna, I don't know if this changes anything, but whenever Ayemi speaks, she doesn't speak. She speaks in your mind.
Oh no, that's perfectly
Just like
fine.
an Illithid would.
Excellent.
Suspicious.
Somebody's got a little tadpole friend, I think.
So yeah, with this as well, the Illithid floats up through his porthole in the ceiling, quite a ways past anyone's reach, leaving just the large furred beasts, the Quaggoths, their brutes and muscle, here to watch over as they usually do. They make their way back over to the corners of each place to where they could watch both the inner courtyard and the hallway if need be. We will get to Quiche here soon, but they are in a different part, so for now, that is left to you all. What do you do?
Mr. Caleb.
Yes.
I, Melody, know a little bit about Quaggoths, but I'm not sure my character would. What would I have to roll to get a bit of an understanding about sort of how they behave, what they're up to, what they're capable of?
You're gonna pet one, aren't you?
Oh, no, these things are sentient. They're people.
Quitter
You can
talk.
pet people.
Yeah, they'll just bite you.
Let me think. Give me a knowledge history. We'll say DC 13.
Okay, I'm not good at this. That's to GM, oops.
Yeah, you're rolling on GM again.
But that's a 15, baby.
You rolled a 15, so let's see. Generally, what you would know of the Quaggoths, they're big, strong, typically never alone. You've rarely seen anyone fight back against them, but the few times someone has, they seem to get much stronger once they're wounded and near death. Almost crazy in a sense. You've probably not seen too many yourself, but of what I'm about to say yourself, but you know as well that they have their own leaders of sorts, past just the Illithids.
Alphas, right?
Sort of. You know that they refer to them as Thonauts. They're sort of Quaggoths who have a bit of psychic energy, much like the Illithids do.
Right. And they're generally subservient to the Illithids. They're kind of servants to them, even the best among them, I assume.
Yes. They usually follow whatever Thonaut leads them, and that one in turn follows the Illithids and tells them to do much the same. Their loyalties seem to be very on edge at any given moment, and they do disobey from time to time. It doesn't often turn out well for them, but also usually doesn't turn out well for whoever's around when they're choosing to disobey orders.
Right. As expected.
Okay. Caleb, have I seen these things before?
No, these are new to you as well.
Actually, no, that makes sense. A lot of things would be.
Yeah. Let's see. So, as well, you have 4 other individuals that share this cell block with you. These being Jazza. He's a big dragonborn, often very intimidating and not the nicest to anyone. He can be, at times, quite helpful in certain situations, but during others, he tends to kind of be more of an observer to whatever bullshit may be happening if he's not participating in it himself. Needless to say, there's quite a bit of trouble that he gets into. But much like a disobeying Quaggoth, it doesn't go well as either for whoever's around when he's doing such.
Nobody's happy when he's not happy.
The other member is Unchi. They are a They are a goblin, much like Bubbles, but still with a fair bit of their complexion to them. They speak a lot about things of the outside world. A lot of it sounds like bullshit, quite often because she tends to just speak and say a lot of things that are bullshit, quite clearly. But regardless of the truth or the validity of whatever claims she makes, it doesn't often end out well when she starts speaking about that as part of the rules. That is illegal to speak about. And as part of Rule 11 that the Illithids have in place, that this and the Underdark below are all that there is. To speak of false places and histories outside of these two places is an affront to your teachings, and you will be shown the truth. And you're basically aware that this can result in pretty big punishment. But she is still around. The others of your cell block are Zerilius, a tiefling. He's probably quite upbeat, quite like that of Lavender, perhaps, though Lavender is also a bit new to your cell block. They're fairly similar in that they both seem to kind of keep a smile on their face. I assume Lavender does, correct?
She's having a great time.
Yeah, she's having a great time.
We're having a good time.
I'm having a good time.
He's rarely in trouble, which might add to why he's always feeling so good, and typically is always getting very nice accommodations for his room. Better things, stuff that's usually a bit harder to get permission to acquire, and things like that. And finally is B. B is a creature not many of you would likely know. If you want, you could give a, let me see, history. Also, I feel I said knowledge history last time I asked for that roll.
You definitely did, and it's because you're used to Pathfinder, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's life, really.
Really, that'd be how life is, actually, if you think about it.
Be true.
Yeah, history or nature roll would let you know what she is. Be a DC 14.
Hold on a second. I might have.
Anyhow good at that shit?
I have history.
I don't have anything in that
Go ahead,
regard.
trying to be a history nerd.
Nope,
No.
not enough.
Close, so close.
Even there, can I still roll?
You could still roll.
Could I roll a 2-kill?
You don't have to be proficient to
Oh,
make
nice.
a roll.
Epic. Did I just say epic out loud with my mouth?
Good job, man.
It could have been worse. It could have
So-
said PogChamp.
Yeah, Bubble.
And I will.
So yeah, Bubbles, especially owing to the fact that you've likely been in the same cell block as her for some time, you would know and have learned that B is what's known as a harpy. Probably just about the only one you've seen here, and you're well aware that they are kind of seen as a very dangerous creature by other people who know about them. Apparently their singing can lure and entrance people and incapacitate them, and they are supposedly quite strong and deadly themselves, but never heard her sing. She rarely talks, and has never been particularly aggressive.
I assume everyone here, including our companions in this terrible, terrible place, are all fluent in common, yes?
Tweet.
All the NPCs are. I assume that all of you are.
I am. I don't know about
I
Horn.
am.
I hope he is.
Everyone just looks at Bubbles.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luna's is Bubbles still holding on to her like robe like a handkerchief?
No, there's just a really long strand of snot between you and Bubbles now.
Mm,
I'm kidding.
Mm.
No.
right.
Let me see. No, Bubble, like through this entire like thing, right? When the Illithid was talking, Bubbles' tongue was just hanging out. There's just like a little puddle of drool like under him now.
Well said, Bubbles. Well,
Boy.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm going to take my charge here. And she straightens up now to her full height, no longer hunching like an old lady proper. And she is quite tall for an old woman. About like 5'10", thereabouts. And sort of has a very commanding presence. She sort of scans the room and says, "Yes, me and my charge will be attending to some services that I have prepared for today. If anyone would like to participate, remember my church is always open."
See, okay.
And Mr. Zorillis, if you are going to interrupt my services again today, I would ask nicely that any incense you decide to burn for the hell of it, at least be swept up. Thank you.
Yes, one.
See, I have a question, right? Normally we just have jobs here in the what's this place like in the prison, right?
Yes, some people are assigned essentially set jobs, ones that are somewhat important enough that a consistent worker with some skill is required. Other people that don't have such jobs are usually to go and get one assigned to them if they want to have a decent meal for the day. Typically, you would go ask anyone in charge, i.e., a nearby Illithid. But yes, as well, as they have stated, there has been apparently, despite your lack of people, some quota problems that they're perhaps having, viewing this section as a bit lazy in some regards, and you're all well aware that replacements simply means that if you're going to be replaced, you're not getting put to another section of the prison. You're gone.
Out of here.
Your brain food, yes.
Tasty.
And
Caleb, would it be fine that when Ayemi speaks in your mind, that she speaks it in a radius?
Sure.
Just so other people can overhear what I'm saying. Luna.
Miss Crane, dear. And yes,
Sorry. So what is it that what are we doing today?
well, first we have to prepare the incense, although before that, actually, I should check in at the library, maybe stop by a couple of places, chat with some others, make sure at least a few people are attending today. If no one comes, I'll have to busy myself with some other type of work, and I dread the thought of that. Afterwards, just keeping the church in order, nice and tidy, all of that.
If we go by the library today, can I grab a book in my room?
Absolutely, dear. I don't think that's against any rules, yes?
You think just as long as she's allowed in the library and allowed near the book she's after, then yes, it should be fine. You know, typically you have to have permission to enter the library, and even with such permissions, the kind of reading material you're allowed to access can typically be limited. You would know, of course, in your case, since you do have library access, but
Mhm.
they sort of restrict what reading material you do get to see.
Even if you are not able to access the library, I could likely gain access to a book for you in your stead, as long as I am strictly observing you while you read it. I see no problem.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a book to read, it's a book to write.
Oh. How interesting. I'm not entirely sure of what ink is available, if at all, but,
Is ink not allowed?
Caleb?
You... That's a good question. Typically, most people aren't given too much stuff to write with, but there are plenty of people that have ink. So yeah, she should be able to get a hold of some quite easily.
The
She
only thing you
asks.
should be concerned about is where the ink is coming from, because it might be from a person. In this particular case, you might have to juice a guy.
No!
I like that term.
That's how you get it in
Yeah.
Minecraft, baby.
You know, it's hard work on the ranch with me and my extended family,
No.
essentially. God,
No.
this is weird. This is what it would sound like to me, I suppose.
No.
No.
But let me see. With that, most of the other kind of NPCs start to disperse. So I suppose Zerilius kind of come over at your previous comment. Say, hey, if you're running service today, I'd be willing to sit in. Gives me a place to relax and not worry about someone looking for me.
Quite the charmer you are.
Ah, you know it.
Oh my god, this is such a fuckboy! I hate him! I hate him!
Either way, if you ain't there, I'll just sleep under the pews. They don't look under there anyway.
No, they don't, so please don't leave any strange things there, or I will get in trouble for it.
Strange? I wonder if I left anything strange under the pews.
On the pews, around the pews, on the altar, around the altar.
Never under.
Then let's keep
Always
it that
where
way.
it can be found.
Right, of course. She
Like, he's
kind of
touching
glares
his
at him.
horns.
Just touching
Oh.
his horns.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna give a guy a warning face?
Oh,
And then-
sorry, I just haven't seen horns before.
Well, big guy down there has horns. I bet he'd, appreciate
If you try
someone
to
talking to him.
You try to endanger my ward like that, and I will rip out your throat with my bare hands.
Hey, I'm just saying, big guy doesn't talk a lot. New person,
Big
maybe
Guy
can make
does
some
fight
friends.
A lot, though. He could
Bites.
crush her.
Or maybe she could crush him. Who knows? You don't know what she does. She just got here.
I can talk.
Damn, that's a lot more than he does. See? You're already underestimating her.
Cerilius, why don't you get back to faffing around or whatever it is that you do?
Ah, right. My job.
Wish that
Well-
were my job.
Also,
Faffing around. That'd be great.
is there something wrong with that boy? Why is he so short?
Oh,
By the way,
sweetheart.
Bubbles is like standing upright. He might be like 3'4". He's like barely 3 foot tall, just hunched over.
Oh, I see. Hold on.
He's screaming. Is he sick?
Oh, you are small.
He is small.
Um.
He's still just
small.
he's still just standing there like with a blank expression.
Amy, I've told you 1,000 times, not everyone you meet is a human or an elf.
It's just, I know, it's weird to just see something new.
Oh, thank you, Caleb. Let me say.
You're welcome.
I just realized my token's so fucking small now. Anyway,
I've enhanced your experience.
Bubbles then I don't
More
know when
realistic.
starts walking.
Oh no, he's leaving. Is he gonna be okay?
What do I know about Bubbles' daily routine?
So, here's the thing, right? Bubbles seemingly like does really weird jobs around the prison. Like it's never the same thing twice. And whenever you're next to his room, like when he's off work, it's a real funky smell in there.
I just typically let him be. He's usually competent on his own in spite of his, She kind of, like, does that thing where you have a wet piece of cloth and you, like, wait, like she's trying to, like, get all of the gunk off of her robe by, like, flicking her wrist. I just sort of leave him to his own devices. He's competent enough on his own, despite all of this.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Let's see.
Okay. Also, Caleb, I have a question, I have just a quick question, right? How
Okay.
like legal is alcohol in the prison?
It's legal. It's served. It's served within some of the meal scrolls if you're of age to be allowed to have alcohol.
I thought you were going to say, if
Uh,
you've been a good boy.
Well, I mean, technically that as well, as only some of the provided meal scrolls do actually come with alcohol in their plan and whatnot.
Would any alcohol be allowed for the purpose of religious ceremonies and stuff?
Oh, yeah, if you wanted a
Probably-
reason for that, definitely, but
Probably just in
Bubbles-
very small amounts, right? Like, not a whole lot.
Yeah,
Right
like
now,
the
Bubbles
little-
is moving some contraband.
but yeah, Bubbles, though it's legal, creating it kinda outside their jurisdiction, not at all.
If they can't tax it, they don't want you making it.
yeah.
It's just like the real government.
Yeah. Bubbles heads down to work and he finds his typical guy.
I know this guy. Luna kind of strides forward towards Lavender. Miss Lavender, very nice to see you. How's the infection doing?
This entire time, including while the Illithid was talking, she's kind of just been like staring off into the middle distance, idly twirling the little trowel that she had in her hands. And as soon as she hears any sound that is actually directed at her, she sort of snaps back into attention, and her head snaps like to look right at you. And it takes her a solid second before she says anything. Hi, good morning. Hi.
Yes, hello. I asked you how your infection was doing, Miss Lavender.
She looks at you completely blankly for a second.
That's what I thought.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Right, of course. Don't know why I keep asking.
What?
Oh, are you particularly occupied today with your gardening work?
I don't know. Would she know what I do other than just...
I imagine just general, like, I said gardening as a very vague sort of thing, because I imagine if you're walking around with a trowel, it's not uncommon to see you with wheelbarrow, trowel, etc.
I have a wheelbarrow, but it's not really for plants most of the time. I don't think I'm doing much of this today. I forgot I had this.
Do you want
Right.
to, do you want to hang out with us? Do you work with us today?
Tiny, I don't know if I've interacted with your character before, have I?
No.
Okay, so you do your weird telepathy thing. She is, again, very confused, sort of smacks the non-side, mushroomed up side of her head for a second, and then looks at you again. Could you repeat that?
Can you hear me fine? Ayemi waves at you.
I sort of walk right up to you and kind of weirdly look at you. You are inside my head.
Yes, I should have introduced Lavender. This is Ayemi. Ayemi Lavender. My girl here is somewhat of a special case. She can... Are you aware of the concept of psionic communication?
Yes.
I figured you seem to have a understanding of fungi. It's not that different of a concept. She doesn't speak much orally, but she certainly has a way with words mind to mind.
Is it not normal to speak mind to mind?
Luna and Lavender look at each other.
No, it's not. Very unusual, in fact, but who am I to judge?
Yes, judgment
Speak
tends to...
orally, but I haven't done it in a long time.
We should probably get you a little bit of practice, just so that the muscles don't deteriorate. It would be helpful in case at any point, for whatever reason, you are temporarily blocked or incapacitated in some way, at least in the way of your psionics.
Atrophy is very unpleasant and unuseful.
See? Take it from the expert.
Did you catch atrophy?
Oh, dear.
I sort of check all of my muscles to make sure none of them are atrophied. No.
Unfortunately, they all are. Goodbye, Lev.
Damn, okay, they are. I collapse into a heap.
No, sorry, go on.
Just a bit of a joke, a little joke. Don't worry yourself over it. I would just appreciate so much your assistance with services today. If we're going to maintain any type of productivity, at least we should try and focus our efforts, at least for the time being. At least that's what I personally believe. And besides, I don't tend to have a lot of time to speak with you. And I think maybe even some, let's say, touch with the divine may be good for, she kind of looks her up and down, your health.
I blink at you.
Of course.
It takes another second. I blink at you, but only with the one eye. The other hasn't blinked the entire time.
It hasn't moved, I assume.
No, the eye hasn't moved.
Other things on the face have.
Yeah. Is that not normal?
That is, of course, if you are as unoccupied as you said today. Otherwise, by all means.
Caleb, I actually do have a question. Am I busy today? Because I feel like of all of the jobs around here, I might be the one with the most constant work supply.
Yeah, yours can be kind of consistent, but usually just comes on going into your, office, as it were, and waiting for such things to roll in or to have someone inform you that you're required to go to any sort of relevant location to pick up your clients.
Mm-hmm. I don't know yet. We'd have to check back a little later in the day to make sure.
Oh, well, that's fine. If you are free, however, I will stop by, of course, at some point. But if you do finish up early and you wish to find me, you know where I always am. Now, come, Ayemi, we should probably be getting...
That would be very nice. I would appreciate it.
Sweet you are.
I think we do this, right? Ayemi, holds out a hand.
Luna slowly nods.
I look at it for a second, and I just kind of go with it on the fly, and I go for the hug.
Luna's like she makes that face that a parent makes when a child like grabs a worm out of the ground, but again quickly sort of like reshuffles her expression to something of sort of slightly positive, friendly neutrality.
I'm not exactly sure how long it lasts, so it lasts way longer than
I
it
don't
should.
think either of you know, so yeah, probably a little bit.
Both people who've never hugged anyone before just keeps hugging. Till
Luna-
someone tells them to
Luna-
stop.
I like the idea that Luna like physically separates Amy with a gentle tug on the sleeve and says, "That's quite nice, quite a beautiful thing, human connection, all that. Come, Amy, we should tend to our tasks for the day."
Okay, bye. Lavender? I think your name was Lavender.
You can call me that, but I don't think it's my name.
Oh.
Luna starts hurrying Amy along, saying a quickened goodbye to Lavender.
I am very confused as to what just happened as they leave.
Before you get tugged, the other cellmate, Umchi, tugs on your sleeve.
Yes, little girl?
Jesus.
We should go fishing.
Fishing? How do you fish?
I'll show you when we go fishing.
Okay, are you... Oh, there you go.
She leaves
you.
with that.
Thank you, Umchi, sweetheart.
I'll bring you some seawater.
Oh, she drinks that sometime.
Isn't
worry
that very
about
bad
her.
for you?
Yes. And she keeps walking with you in tow. Which way to the altar?
So let's see. Technically, the main ways to work are to the right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
so
will
she-
yeet Bubbles back that way.
Yes.
That's
Um,
probably the direction he'd have taken for work.
With what I rolled, Quaggoths do speak Qualith, don't they?
Let me see. No, you know that they speak Undercommon.
Ah, damn. I don't have that language. Fuck.
I do.
Oh, by the way,
There.
Killa,
Yes.
Bubbles is gonna sneak to his guy. So, stealth. I rolled a 13.
Let's see. Let me see. Just in case I forgot something, do whisper me which guy.
So,
You know, the guy.
yeah.
Can I see Bubbles on his way to work?
He headed off a bit ago, but I mean, you might
Okay.
can catch up to him if he's, kind of tumbling a bit.
I mean,
He
if he
does
headed
help
off a
them.
bit ago, it's fine.
No, you can roll him. Yeah,
Okay.
That's fine. I've been caught.
And Lavender, are you heading off that way as well?
I realize that I go awkwardly put my little trawl back in my house, and then I go off to my workspace.
Okay, let me see here.
It's the thing where we say bye, but we all end up walking the same direction.
Oh, it's the worst.
I am completely oblivious to it, don't worry.
So, I will, let me see. Transfer the next map. I do have lighting set up on this map, but
No, don't
if
worry,
it-
my lag is gone.
Okay.
I fixed it. I think
Nice.
I had 2 instances of Google Chrome open, and that's what was killing my computer.
That will do it. So let's bring you over and see if this functions. So you all should be down at the bottom left.
GM, why is Bubbles regular size? GM, please.
You're right.
GM, why did somebody cast grow on him? What the fuck?
Goodbye.
My immersion is broken.
Oh, now he's like smaller.
Let's see. So I will
He's tiny.
give a moment for Mel to get back while I find my next thing here. But let me see as we do this. Right, Bubbles, still need you to send me what you whisper me.
Sure.
Okay.
There you go, right?
So, I will catch Mel back up when she returns.
Leaving Ayemi unsupervised. SMH.
Oh, an unwise decision.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, one.
Mhm.
Okay, so where'd this go? Here we are. So, Quiche.
Yeah.
So for character Peg, work has been slow lately. The last kind of kid that came often to your daycare is since turned 13 and is now off working whatever job they've been placed in. It's been many generations of this same song and dance, but it's never quite any easier to see them go, even if you will still see them around for a while. Perhaps thankfully, though, there are always and almost always have been two here that you've taken care of. Tubar and Lofamir. They are two kids, in quotation marks, that have almost always been around, as long as you've been working here. Mind flayer experiments of some sort. You are well aware of the process known as seramorphosis, the way mind flayers create new ones of their kind, in which often a host is turned into essentially a vegetable and then exposed to one of these odd tadpoles that eat their brain. Often, they only turn adults, and mind flayer physiology only vaguely resembles that of actual octopi. These two, however, seem to have been a test at some unfortunate point and were seemingly deemed failures, but allowed to stay in your care since you were an important worker and seemed to react very, very unfavorably in their eyes when they threatened to get rid of things that you consider children, regardless of how they view it. And to show them.
My babies.
Can you put my camera wherever you're at?
Where? So you should be able to drag it down, but right.
I don't know where it is.
There we go.
Lofamir, Tubar.
With things as they are, your two underlings, or employees as you would likely call them, have learned to handle the two of them quite well. With only two kids at the moment, you know you will likely have to busy yourself with a side job for a bit, unless the Illithids see fit to completely change where you work for an extended period due to inactivity. It's only happened once, and was not very favorable when a less kind person was put in charge. But you have since wrested control back of the daycare. To denote as well, it also serves as a school and somewhat of an orphanage. Very multi-purpose place. But yes. You kind of go about wrapping up the day. Tubar and Lofamir are at it with their own activities, and your current employees are able to keep them busy. So, what do you do?
So I'm just, I guess, just cleaning up after the kids and stuff like that. What's the job that they've...
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Raimi, would you like to introduce your character?
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's kind of important.
It's kind of important, especially considering.
Where even is Peg? We can't even see her.
Haha, I have
She's
the camera.
down below. So, Peg is a Warforged. She is, kind of beaten up. She's covered in, like little bits of rust and scrapes and nicks. And, another big feature on her, besides her, kind of, faded pink and white paint job, is, she is, covered in coral of various colors and shapes. And this doesn't really seem to affect her movement. She is very bouncy and very friend-shaped. One of her eyes is cracked and dimmed, but the other one's like a bright green, kind of glows a little bit.
A Baymax in many ways.
She's a Baymax, but like a little less. You understand?
A Baymax that got a little wet for a little too long.
Little
A
wet,
Baymax
little
that
crusty.
someone left in the tub.
Yeah, left in the tub for a bit, then came back to it. It's a little dirty. It's fine. She's fine. She can walk. Her knees only creak a little bit.
Something to establish, Caleb, real quick. Did you make it so that, and this is a little bit of world lore, I guess, as well. Did you make magic something that we're not allowed to cast out in the open, specifically so that I did not just sort of prestidigitation all these filthy fuckers constantly, these people who don't shower ever, these people who got shrooms and coral on them?
This is correct, Mel. I hate that you use prestidigitation so much. I created this campaign to where you could no longer use it. You couldn't press the button.
It was created.
You couldn't press the button 10,000 times, or else you would be attacked. That is the truth behind it all. I've been discovered. That's the game.
Kill Mel the moment you use prestidigitation.
Caleb, I don't press it 10,000 times. That's excessive.
Press it
It's more like 102
1 time.
times every single time.
It's 104 prestidigitation.
School comes along just to end it.
No.
Wits
So-
come along just to end it.
So yes, Peg. So yeah, you were wrapping up, cleaning up, hold on. Do I have this? I do. So there is a door over here. Get rid of that.
Killed. Door destroyed.
Peg just kicks it open. She's like, "Fuck this door."
Hate it.
This
Just
door
go
in
on.
particular. If everything's wrapped up and such, I guess she'll make sure those two, the squid babies, are behaving, and other than that, if there's no conflict, then I guess she could dismiss her assistants to go do their morning routines until the.
Well, watching these two at the moment is sort of their morning routine. They're kept busy and in this job essentially by your will, since you are the manager of this little sector. The foreman, as it were.
The gang on their way to speak to the manager.
I'm both the manager and the Karen.
Jay,
Unfortunately.
you're aware that the amount of productivity required of you is typically a bit higher, oddly, than that of your workers in some cases. At least in the case of the here.
Of this area.
Yeah, so
She's the little rat among the bedrolls, and she's like, no, get out of here, shoot.
yeah,
Little
tiny-
band right here. No rats in the baby play.
Some silly little guys.
Let me walk around my office real quick.
Feel free to ground familiarize yourself for a bit, but we'll go back over to the others. So yeah, I mean, you can see Bubbles kind of lurching around.
As he's wont to do.
I guess probably be like up here, I guess. So,
As he,
you know that
as he
video where
does.
the guy's like fucking moving around in the rain? That's how Bubbles is walking.
I
Let me-
don't,
let
but
me
I
increase
can
the size
feel
just
it.
a little.
Yeah, he is a microorganism right now. There he goes. And there he goes. And now he's gone.
See, Caleb, where would I find my guy?
He's typically hanging around the upper courtyard. Typically has few other people around him. Kind of dark sunken eyes and whatnot. And Tiny, if you do require multiple cameras, feel free to drag more rats.
Oh, okay. Should I have a rat
Oh, that's
stay at
great.
Keisha's place?
That's what those are.
You can if you wish. Yes,
I was
just
wondering why you had all the rats.
Why they were all named.
yeah, just so it's the way. Yeah, the Tiny rat is the camera for Tiny.
That's great. That's so good.
What do you mean? There actually is just a rat following Bubbles.
It's just skittering after him, and he's just like, yeah.
So yeah, as well.
He picks it up and eats it. Oh
So,
no!
only sometimes.
Not this one. Not today.
You would know as well that rats are fairly common around here. The rats around here usually all have a sort of exposed and glowing cranium. It seems that they're typically quite smart or have some kind of low psionics. Often they can be quite annoying as they let me see here.
Now,
As they can telepathically communicate, but often just very simple things.
cheese.
Well,
Cheese.
While it's not against the rules to kill them or move and harass them, the Illithids don't seem to take too kindly to you doing so. There's never really been punishment for it, but they don't really appreciate when you do it.
Do they have affection towards cranium rats? Is that
Does-
sort of what it is?
You wouldn't really take it as such. More of
Please don't say kinship. God, I would hate that.
Kinning.
That's like me, but bad. That's like me,
You-
but a fucking rat.
I guess you would put it more towards they have psionic capabilities, and thus they do not appreciate when such things are harmed.
They're,
Like I said,
they're
there's-
creatures that have similarities to them, and therefore that they feel like that's fucked up. It's like,
A bit,
I
yeah.
feel like they're more people than us.
that's what I was actually thinking. It's like, oh no, those? No, they're like somewhat. They have it. You know, they have it. They're not cattle like those humanoids. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me switch to Bubbles.
Time for the gang to turn this place into Alberta too. Only a couple people are gonna get that joke.
Okay, so what you need to do is watch the special feature off of the DVD release of Pixar's Ratatouille.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
I believe they make mention of
Rats aren't
Alberta
allowed in Alberta.
in
because
the special feature, Your Friend the Rat, starring Remy, whatever the fuck his buddy's name was. You know the one, the fat
Canadian
one.
here, Alberta doesn't allow rats because rats would run rampant in Alberta because it's flat and they could just keep going. At least
It's like
that.
That's what happened in Saskatchewan. You didn't want to be Saskatchewan.
They didn't want to be Saskatchewan. No one wants to be
So-
Saskatchewan right now. Shout out to all my Saskatchewan homies. I'm very sorry for saying that. I'm sure your province is beautiful. I've just never seen it.
Well, you're talking to like 3 people in the world right now. They're not gonna be. They're not watching this stream.
Only
There's
three,
like-
only 3 people live in Saskatchewan, and one is the Canadian girlfriend that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What are they gonna do? Go up there and check?
I mean, isn't that the point? Isn't that the point when you think about it?
Capital
I know that's not like a
Saskatchewan.
joke or funny to say. Like that's like saying, yeah, that's a joke because it's funny. Get it?
You know what is funny?
What?
The capital of Saskatchewan is called Regina. It
So-
sounds funny. That's how you pronounce it.
Humor of the fucking 12-year-old.
To Luna and Iami. And I guess Lavender as well.
I will say I am a decent ways behind you all because I went back into my little room for a bit.
That's fair.
Okay.
You guys you got a decent head start on me.
Luna's tugging Iami along. All right, so
I'm staying like close behind.
all right, so Iami. First things first, we're going to check in on Miss Peg as we do every so often. Now, this isn't technically a part of work, but we have a little bit of leeway during the day, and I just like to make sure she's doing well.
Oh, so it's like a friend.
I'm not sure. It's kind of like that. Obviously you're not from this block, so you don't know about this. Miss Peg raises, essentially, most individuals who grow up here. She raised me. Since I was wee little, she would have raised you most likely, had you been born here.
I don't remember being raised by Mr. Pig.
Oh no, since you're not from here, obviously you weren't, but you probably were raised by someone else, surely.
You see that there is a mind player stood in the hallway. They seem to be looking at a book, taking some sort of notes. They don't seem to physically regard you as you come by, but as per many, you can feel kind of the wave of psionic energy kind of pulse out from around them, almost to sort of scan the area and confirm you're there in a way. But they don't say anything and continue as they are.
Never get used to that, Rilla. It's a strange feeling.
I think it's kind of nice. Reminds me of home.
Right. I should ask you more about that, but later. You're still getting adjusted, obviously. There is a sharp knock at the door.
One minute.
Of course.
I know y'all can get it, but no, I'm answering it. I need something to. And she like waves at the other two sisters. Coming as fast as they. Maybe I should scroll out. Hold on.
Yeah, that usually helps for me, at least. Especially because your room's so, cramped.
It's so big for me, at least. But the door is opened, and she does light up. Haha, funny joke. At seeing you two, and waves y'all in. The door opens on its own, but it's polite. She's like, "It's so good to see. Come on in. Hello, Luna. It's been a minute. Who's your friend?"
Miss Peg, thank you so much for letting us in. It has been a while. This is a,
She does give you a hug, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, Luna immediately, her demeanor of this, kind of intimidating, clergy lady sort of vanishes when she is around her. It's like when someone sees their mom, essentially.
Oh.
And she just wraps her arms around her.
Peg, can I talk to you in your mind?
I don't know, Caleb.
Yes, you are able to.
Okay.
Peg, they are able to telepathically commune with you despite your sort of lack of mind. They've done a few things to help make this so, as you're well aware of how much they would not want to deal with you should they have to speak in Qualith every time they must talk with you.
Fair enough, so she can't. That's what the brain coral's for.
Hello, I'm Ayemi. Ayemi kind of waves.
It's nice to meet you, Amy. Come on in, all the way in. You don't have to stand in the doorway.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Is this
Yeah, she's
school?
new to the block.
I see. And she kind of nudges you, Luna, and she's like, she's a shy one, isn't she?
Somewhat. She's very curious, though. Yes, this is a school, Amy. This is actually where I was raised for the most part.
Is there a chalkboard? I want to see the chalkboard.
We don't have a chalkboard, but we do have pens and paper. Or quills, pardon me.
I mean, there's probably like a certain amount of like, I don't know, Caleb, you can answer that.
Well,
At least I don't think we have a chalkboard.
Tambo, wait right there. But
God.
there, let me see. There are
Fucking
some.
normal rat. There's a normal fuck. There's a cranium rat in the corner. Why is he here? I hate him. 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 I hate him.
There are mostly colored inks and the like. No things like crayons or pencils, it seems. There is chalk. It can be kind of hard to get a hold of and get them to, actually supply you with. So typically, Peg, it's kind of a special occasion to let the kids take chalk and go just draw on the stonework and everything.
If I don't know if the illithids make her clean that off, but if they do or if they don't, she likes to leave those up as long as she possibly can, because this room is dreary as hell.
Yeah, much like most of the prison, this is technically, I would argue, the least dreary room everywhere, which is sad considering looking at it how it is.
We've got toys and junk. See, there's a little doll on that
Yeah,
table.
there's like a whole teddy bear. There's one man. Here he is.
Just a little dude.
Just a little guy. Look at him. Hey, cameraman, can we get a zoom in real quick? Tiny? Look at him.
Zoom in on that dude.
Look at this dude.
This dude.
Tiny, you're not zooming in.
Tiny, I don't think can zoom in any farther.
No, he definitely
He's doing
can.
his best.
Oh, it's only at 125. Never mind.
Oh wait, okay, now he's zooming in. Okay, sorry. I forgot stream
Yeah,
delay was a thing
boy.
for a second. Oh, wonderful.
But dude aside, yeah, she does direct you to a open pen and paper. Obviously, you can see over here.
Tiny rat.
Come hither, guys.
Where are the students?
They're not here right now, but we do have Tubar, and she points to Tubar, and Lofamir, and points to Lofamir. They're not really in a learning mood right now. They're just kind of,
You see,
hanging
they kind of are very interested when people are in and around, and they shuffle over, kind of curiously, but obviously seems like you're doing things with adults, and they're trying not to interfere too much.
Ayemi
Sure,
waves
sure.
to them.
Yeah, she'll wave him over a little closer, because it's a new person. She likes introducing her children to new people.
Hello, you two. It's been so long. How have you been doing in your studies?
Let me check something just to make sure I got this right.
The baby.
So let's see, Mel.
Me?
Yeah, obviously, having been raised by Peg, you also would have been sort of raised with these two. It's
Yeah.
perhaps very odd that they're still children, still seem to have that demeanor and mentality while you have aged and grown up, but they seem very stagnant in how they are, but obviously, yeah, you know them quite well. Let me see. I believe Tubar, the red one. Right, I do not have their names linked at the moment to show. I can fix that.
And you will.
I will.
You will grab you.
Starts beating you up.
You'd be aware that Tubar is usually the most talkative, but much like mind flayers, they do so via telepathic communication. And as I do not have a child squid voice entirely ready, I'll simply narrate what they are pulsing into your minds.
That makes sense.
Talk in a baby voice.
I think Luna kind of regards them like little cousins, you know?
Yeah, and they didn't note that they're happy to see you and whatnot. Or Tubar does, he typically kind of speaks for Lofamir.
Aww.
You know Lofamir can talk, just doesn't very often.
But he's very active. He like runs around. He likes doing stuff and staying engaged with things.
Yeah, very engaged. Tubar typically keeps his distance some more, and that often confuses people who is actually talking.
I know who's talking, though.
Yeah, you've grown up with them, so you can differentiate them pretty well. But meanwhile, Lavender,
Yes.
as you're passing by in the hall, the mind flayer, previously minding his own business, floats his way out to the center of the hallway, and you hear in your mind a command to wait.
Oh, okay, I guess I have to know now.
And I assume you do. It's not like
I
a
sort of just like stop dead in my tracks at about the point that you see this.
Let's see. Okay, and so
I'm still facing in the direction I was walking.
they, still looking at their book, haven't looked up to turn to you either, but you're facing away. They tell to you, Lavender, there is something special requested at your workplace at the moment.
Okay.
We believe that this might be a good way for you to help increase the productivity of your cell block, especially if you were to include others within it to help you.
What were you thinking of?
It's excellent that you've asked. That shows initiative. We are seeking for you to clean the corpse chutes. They have begun to emit quite a noxious miasma, and we believe that there may be problems or some clogging down below.
I consider for a second, vaguely knowing the implications of what this job entails. Not exactly liking them, but like, fuck all those other people who died, I'm built different.
Are there any questions or problems with this quite generous offer we have made you?
No, I don't think there will be too much of a problem.
Good. Do not disappoint us, as it reflects on your cellmates. And he returns to his spot.
Okay, I continue walking.
Okay.
I have no idea where I'm actually supposed to go on this map. I'll just walk around. until I
Come in
figure it
here.
out.
Come
I have
into
no
the
reason
baby
to go
pit.
in there.
So if you're
You guys can come over to my fucking workplace.
No.
So if you were heading to where you work, you just head straight to the right. But
Okay, cool.
you are aware that up north is where the courtyard and main mess hall is. So typically that's where some people would go to eat breakfast and such.
I'm gonna make sure I didn't have any bullshit piling up over the night. Because that tends to happen. We're running with the frickin' skeleton crew, am I right?
So meanwhile,
For you, it's a little crew of skeletons. You're actually a necromancer. This was all an elaborate ruse to make everyone think you were
No,
Spore
it's not
Spirit.
actually skeletons, Mel.
Damn it! Fooled
So-
again!
Quitter talk.
1. If you are here, 1.
Sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
So, back over to you. Heading into the mess hall, your usual contact is there, sat on his own at the moment. He's eating breakfast from what's usually provided in a low peasantry meal scroll, which are very bland foods with not really any spices, just enough nutrition to get you through the day.
Say, there's another Illithid watching over us. Okay, that's not good. Let me see. Gonna move down the here. Let me see. Bubbles puts his hand on the table. He spreads it out like signaling 5.
Let me see. He scoots over across from you on the table. Let's see. Kind of leans over and says, it's going to be awfully hard to talk in private.
And Bubbles hits him with the same and grabs one of his pieces of his food, eats it.
Real charmer.
Let's see, blows him a kiss.
Yeah.
So, what could? How do we do this? I spot 2 Illithids out here, man.
Yeah, you're noticing that there's, despite the fact that they're kind of still in single digits, it's quite a lot more than you're typically used to seeing out and around, and it's a little disconcerting.
Bubbles, after eating, says, "No good." Spits on the table, and then he walks away. He just gets up and leaves.
Well, I'm not cleaning that.
So, could I try to sneak a perception to see if, like, the Illithids turn away or, like, they're not, like, paying attention? Give, like, a sleight of hand perception?
So, I think, obviously having lived here long enough, you'd know that it's less of if they're looking and more of if you're within range of them. It's kind of hard to determine what the range is, but whether they're looking at you or not, as long as you're within some level of range of them, they can easily listen into conversations, no matter how aloof they might be.
I don't know that range.
You could give me... Well, let me see here.
Insight?
Here we go. DC 17 insight.
Oh, I'm not gonna make this.
Oh, damn.
And never mind, I'm just built different.
So,
Amazing.
probably obviously having snuck around them before, probably having gotten reprimanded for such things and using those few times to kind of test, you would put it at a range about around 60 to 80 feet.
They're overlapping, aren't they?
Damn.
You'd be aware that at
Shit.
some point some of these are overlapping. You might have to really get into a corner and such to kind of get out of that range. You're not entirely sure if it goes through walls. But you are aware as well that if you do get out of the range, then it would come to whether they're looking or not, so you don't look shady outside their range.
Okay.
of
Yeah,
telepathy sensing.
Bubbles is gonna keep walking. Hopefully, good. Hopefully, he follows.
He's
Yeah.
keeping with you.
Let me see. Okay, I think. Okay, good. Best kind of deals in plain sight. Okay. Gonna move it here then. And Bubbles is gonna slip him the drink, and he's gonna take the money in return, or the gems. 13.
Let's see. Sleight of hand, alright. Let's see. Is he paying attention? So. Sorry, give me a moment. Gotta get this.
Hello, I return. Has Juan's brain been eaten yet?
Not yet.
So, yeah,
Well-
you see the Mind Flayer up to the north is kind of aloof at the moment. Seems he's mostly relying on that range of his to detect any foul ongoings, and is probably more concerned with the group of 3 down in the corner. There is a Quaggoth nearby, though, and typically they are very much one to tattle or to take the opportunity to take things into their own hands if they see what they think is something they Mind Flayers wouldn't be permissive of. But you can see that this one is very clearly distracted. It's tired. It's kind of leaned against this pillar here. Very much kind of nodding off and just not wanting to be here right now. And so very easily you're able to slip him the drink, and he hands over, let me see here. He'd hand you over a small gem, a little piece of quartz.
Okay, good. Another to add to the collection. Let me see. And Bubbles just hands him what would be an efficient way to just transport alcohol in this type of place? Caleb, in those food packs, are the drinks served in a can or a bottle?
Typically they give you a glass that they usually expect back, but with some of the things that it comes served in, you could have easily made sort of a Boda or a water skin that you hand off.
Okay.
Being such a thing doesn't arouse such suspicion. The Mind Flayers would probably see it as clothing and not pay it much mind unless you were being shady with it.
Yeah, Bubbles hands him his rubbing alcohol and then continues to move on.
He does put a hand on you before you go. But security's getting a little high. There's a lot more demand for this at the moment. If you can get some in bigger quantity, I can get you some better gems.
Peck.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, Bubbles is looking at him with like such a glass-eyed expression. Here's the thing, right? One of his eyes being like can't really see it because of the little visor thing, right? The other eye, the eye that like you think he's looking at you with, slides to like the back of his head.
I'll take that as an understanding.
And Bubbles like before he leaves, he shakes his hand and then he continues to walk off.
Oh, good lord, Juan, what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
I thought damn those characters.
What have you created?
Talk to the Illithids
Bro,
and ask them.
Bro, I'm just like this. He's the one who got fucked up, dude.
But
I'm having a great time.
Bubbles walks into the walks in the church. Sits down.
But yeah, over at the daycare, you catch up with Tubar and Lofmir. They seem to want to interact with Ayemi, but seem obviously very nervous. Lofmir obviously a bit excited, but it's more of an adult they don't know. They're typically more sociable with people of their quote-unquote own age.
It's perfectly okay, you two. Take whatever time you need. She's a very nice young lady. She can speak just like you can. It's very fascinating.
What's Ayemi writing down? Or playing with the pen and the paper.
Oh, she's not writing. She's just standing behind you.
Well, she did lead her over here to mess with the pen and paper, but if she is introducing herself, that is fine.
Yeah, Ayemi kind of looks to the two. Hello, yeah, I speak like you two. I grew up speaking like this.
Peg is actually going to, usher her into, where she is standing so she can be close to the baby, so... gently pushes her forward, there you go.
Luna's just trying to facilitate this conversation by, nodding encouragingly at all three parties involved.
Everybody needs to be introduced, everyone needs to be socialized.
Alright, now you've made the Triforce become powerful.
Yeah.
Hi.
She sounds like she's about to cry!
Lofmir waves one of their tentacles at you, waving a hand high. Tubar, situation getting perhaps a little too sociable, kind of retreats a little bit, but you do telepathically receive a hi in return.
What was that, Neum? Was that a sound effect, or did some plane fly over?
Oh, that's just Illithids.
Just the sound he makes when he flies away.
They just sound like motorcycles or single-engine planes.
Yeah, they just sound like motorcycles on I-30 going above the speed limit.
That's oddly specific, Caleb. Also doxed. I have all of your information now. I'm eating it. I'm downloading it into my brain.
All of Texas knows your
God. But yeah.
Well, he made an attempt, but good job, Tubar. You met your quota today.
Don't say it like that. You sound like some of the supervisors. Jesus.
He picks up the teddy bear and kind of hugs it, and he seems very ecstatic about that.
Well, I mean, they respond to it.
I mean, that is true. I suppose you want to... She grimaces. get them started on track early. Have expectations put ahead of them.
I really don't, but I feel like I just. You see, her face
Yeah.
doesn't move much, but you can see in her eyes, like, kind of a grim.
Yeah, both of them I think are not sort of
Is
feeling
It's
great about that.
supposed to do work?
Lothamir and Tubar, well, Miss Peg has known them longer than I, but they're somewhat special cases, I suppose. They don't really age.
They don't do much work on their own either. They just kind of. I just kind of keep them around.
Oh, okay. I thought it was weird that I don't know, people were doing jobs. They didn't look really happy to do them.
Are people more, receptive to the type of work they do around you? Where you're from?
No, I don't really get to see it too often. I don't really I never really had any work. So
I kind of like. Do I feel that tingle of like illithid sort of thought examination at the back of my neck right now? Do I sense that kind of telepathic like observation?
Let me see. Give me a perception check, DC 15.
Okay, I'm not great at this, but let's see. Who's to know? No idea.
No, you. At some point, the Illithids kind of being within your mind space and idly scanning about has almost become like background noise. It's hard to differentiate whether it is or isn't happening at this point in your life.
Well, I do know that because of my background, they're less likely to like closely examine me, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not doing it.
It doesn't mean they're not doing it, but they have more trust in you. They're more willing to turn a blind eye to the rules you break and things like that.
You are utterly fascinating.
Actually,
Are
if I can ask real quick, if it's not rude, how old did you say you were, Amy?
I turned 60 last week.
Now, Miss Peg, do keep in mind she is an elf. They
I know. That's awfully young.
Luna
Maybe
kind of-
she
Hmm,
just
go ahead.
wasn't. Maybe she just wasn't doing much because, hadn't hit that age yet.
Well, that's true. 13's usually the cutoff. Are you at liberty to say what the expectations of you were, Amy? What your situation was like, or
Well, I don't know about expectations or stuff like that. I was allowed to read books and write and talk to Caleb, do I the Illithid that was with me, do I see them as a parental figure? Like my mom or something?
That is completely up to you.
Okay. I mostly talked with my mom and that was about it.
your mother? Caleb, in general, people are separated from their parents in this block, right? Like, that's sort
Usually-
of an expectation.
Typically, about the time they've turned 13, they are usually taken to a different cell block. If there is space, they might be kept in the same cell block as their parents, but typically, yeah, there's a separation at a certain point.
And 13 equivalent for AME would have been about, like, a decade or so ago?
You think they might have, with elves, consider that even farther back, because they're not really gonna let someone sit there for several decades. Yeah, for several decades.
Oh, Jesus. So they might cut it off at like even 30, even though they're still pretty young at that point.
Yeah.
And you said you were still living with your mother when you came here? When you arrived? Shortly before?
I think I was always here. I was in the library. I don't know if my mom lived in the library, but I would see her.
I'm sorry, in this cell block? Dear, I frequent the library on a consistent basis. I think I would have known if you were there.
I'm not sure. Maybe you just didn't see me?
Well, around this area, you never know every twist and turn. Give her some credit.
Of course, Miss Peg. I'm certain. I'm certain things are always more complicated than they seem, but we're certainly not paid to... Well, I shouldn't say we're paid much at all, but we're certainly not paid to ask questions. We are paid to obey our benevolent overlords. You know, this reminds me of a proverb.
Back at it again.
Wait, cut away. I don't want this religion bullshit.
Yeah, you can cut away. I didn't have one ready, so please do cut away.
I was gonna say, Peg, a southerner, like, don't start this bullshit in my daycare. Are you kidding me?
But yes, Lavender.
It's my job. I'm sorry. If I don't do it, my head gets busted open and my gray matter gets slurped.
In this daycare, you are free to not do that.
I know.
Peg makes some rules around here.
But yes, Lavender, you're heading to work.
Yes, I'm heading to work.
Doing anything beforehand?
No, I'm just heading straight there. Mainly just to see what'll happen during the night.
Tiny, you having fun over there?
What?
I saw what you were doing with the rat on the street.
Yeah.
Give me a
Hi,
sec.
I'm a tiny rat. I'm a tiny rat. And I dance, and I dance.
And dance. I'm going over to the right of the screen.
You moved too fast.
The rat.
Oh my god, you went zooming.
Do want to check as well after the proverbs and such. Where is Ayemi, Luna, and Peg going?
Well, I forgot breakfast was a thing we should do, so we should probably go to the mess hall first before we go to the church. I think Luna's going to offer Peg, even though I know you don't consume the way we do, I would still like to spend a little bit more time with you if you have the option. If, of course, you're still busy with Tubar and Lofamir, that's perfectly fine. I just...
Oh no, that's fine. I can come along. They can and she like gestures to the assistants, like they can handle him for a little bit.
Of course. Luna gives a respectful curtsy to the other assistants.
They nod to you.
I know it's probably not very traditional to do that kind of thing. Luna is, I mean, old-fashioned to an extent, but also she's just kind of weird like that. She's got the eccentric priestess thing kind of down.
I was about to say, if anything, Peg probably would have encouraged that eccentricness. Like if she was acting weird as a kid, she'd be like, "Yeah, fight the power."
Rebel. What?
Let's-
Nothing.
Make their lives a little harder, but also don't get in trouble.
Please don't get 8, because I don't want you to get 8, but also, yeah, you funky little dude, go.
So
Start breakdancing.
as you head off to eat, we will go to Lavender then.
Yay. That's me.
Now I know most of you probably can't see, except for Tiny.
Tiny rat.
I mean, shift
Just go,
pane.
just go watch Tiny's stream.
Yeah, you want to see
I mean,
what's
yeah, that's what
happening?
I'm doing.
Let me
About
see.
30 seconds later, but like, come on, it's not that bad.
Oh, this is good. This is good quality entertainment, Tiny.
So yeah, you make your way over eventually to where the medical wing is. You see that thankfully there's not a large pile of corpses outside your door, and not a
Thank God.
incredibly large line at the medical office to the north.
All right.
So, all in all,
Time for a cushy day.
all in all, the day is starting off pretty well. And yeah, as you are aware, your office is the entrance to the south.
This one right here, yeah.
Yes.
I pinged it, but I'm going to the one on the south. That's the only entrance.
Yeah, that's the only entrance on the south side. Medical wing is a bit small. You know, there's quite a lot of people on this side of the prison. A lot of people as well that are over at this side as well, but thankfully it's quiet today.
Nice. All right.
You know the doctor is probably in, and if nothing else is happening, could always speak to him if you had to, but let's see, going inside.
So it's a professional relationship. He dumps them on the step if he has to, and I take them in.
You see that there are a few Quaggoths around, just kind of keeping watch. A bit odd, as usually there's not too much security around here.
That's fine.
Oh.
We're having fun here.
So, let's see, you step in and see the your assistants kind of well at work. Your old assistants who had at one point been more or less like you, kind of living and alive and not succumbing terribly to fungal infection. But unlike you, it seems they didn't dodge so well. And are a bit on the deader side of the infection, it seems, as they tend to be.
Yeah, it's fine. They can still live around.
They sort of meander around. There's, obviously, doesn't seem to be too much. There is one body that is in the process of being embalmed. It looks like this time around they did successfully go through the motions and got it done.
Yay! That's great. Thank fucking God. It's like this.
You probably obviously go over to inspect it and make sure it's all good. You can see that this one doesn't have any sort of special markings on them, meaning that they don't really get a coffin. They're just dumped right into the chute most of the time.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I write up anything I have to write up. I do all the little form filling out and put it in the drawer with the other forms. There's a lot of forms.
You get all the forms done to note the cause of death, which at this point you could probably answer without even looking at the corpse from the little concave part in their head. This one, go ahead.
Did they get knobbed on?
Yeah, it seems this one was a snack. Usually when the mind flayers eat, all the corpses are kind of dumped in mass, but this person might have been a bit troublesome and thus got chosen early, or perhaps whatever other reason or machination the mind flayers had for just eating one dude and putting him in here.
Maybe he was like, I'm actually cool with this. Please go ahead, my benevolent overlords. Maybe that was it. Maybe nothing bad happened. Maybe this was just life.
It's always a possibility. Not my place to judge.
You gotta be an optimist with things like this, you know?
I can't ask him, he's dead.
And unfortunately, probably can't raise him as one of your other assistants, as it seems they do require a brain in their head still.
Yep. Well, into the chute. I sort of gesture at my buddies to go to dump them in.
Are the assistants, like, intelligent undead, or are they just sorta, you know?
They're just sorta here.
What a good question. So
They're intelligent in their own way.
Interesting phrasing.
Not really at all.
they
The real
grab.
brains for the phones we
But
made
I can
along
tell
the way.
what to do pretty effectively.
Yeah, they grab the corpse, start to bring it down. One of them, well, they both kind of bump into the wall a bit, trying to get it through. But after a little work, they manage to shimmy their way on through.
That's not that bad. I would do that. Listen, that's not
Yeah.
that. If you're marking intelligence, that's not that bad. I would have a problem with that as well.
No, you were at least zombie level intelligence. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm kind of surprised they're not nomming on this guy.
What? Why would they?
They're little zombies.
Racist.
Racist?
Racist to
Oh,
zombies.
not
Zombies aren't racist. They're dead.
Not this, please.
No.
If they're unintelligent undead, I would imagine they have like a certain amount of feralness to them.
No, they're chill.
Okay, they vibing.
Pretty well behaved. You see, they take a second to aim, and then chunk the body down into the chute. You hear it clamber down against the wall messily, and then eventually kind of clunk down on something soft down within before they pull the hatch back over.
I like to imagine that the way they throw him, it's like they like toss him and they aim pretty okay, but they still like hit the back of his like neck and head on the side when they're throwing him in. So it's just like a neck snapping sound, ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
The one over to the right as well is a bit of a recent turn. Unfortunately, he was good while he lasted, but at least the fresher ones tend to react much better and keep their minds about them a bit longer. He's made a bit of a mess on the floor with the expulsion of blood and whatnot, and some mushrooms have already started to grow within there where the spores have landed on the moist blood.
It's nothing that can't be fixed. Easy. Actually, GM Caleb, I'm going to do while they're off doing their own thing, I'm going to raise one of these hatches and just kind of take a look-see down in there.
Okay, let's see. So
They say it needs to be cleaned. I'll fucking see what the deal is with this shit.
let's see. Looking down, do you have dark vision?
Don't know. I don't think I do because human.
Oh,
Right.
you're
I
also
have to look-
human. Well, you
I have
were
a look. Do I have a look? I am still human.
Yeah.
Hum-
Quotation mark.
human with a little Nestle Crunch.
I take a
I would
little-
hope
do
they
have-
don't crunch.
What's
I
your
have a little-
favorite kind of M&M?
Do I got a little lantern anywhere?
Let me see. Yeah, I'd say probably in one of the chests there's a lantern. You can take it and
Alright.
shine it.
I shine in there. Does anything look strange about this one in
Does
particular?
anything decide to try to react to what I'm doing and who I am and my deal?
Let's see,
That's only happened a
top
couple
right.
times before. Usually they just grab one of the dudes and go back.
So now looking down in this one, can only barely see the bottom. You can see that there is still some corpse. What would that word be? Detritus? Or
Detritus.
debris. Yeah, detritus and debris and whatnot. Still bits of that down there. You're not too sure what happens to it. If it rots pretty quickly, but still some in there. You can smell it from here, obviously. You probably smell some of it coming in, but that's usually what you always smell, but you guess
I'm
it might be
used to
getting too bad for them.
I guess we'll have to figure this out at a later date. Maybe I can bring some friends down with me. Anybody want to go hang out in the corpse chute with me later?
Oh, you know I love it. You know I love it.
The rat coughs up
No.
blood and spores.
He'll be fine as long as he's not exposed for too long.
As long as you eat the rat first. What? Wait, no, that's not what you were saying at all.
But yeah,
Don't eat the rat.
you do know that there is a winch and whatnot with the rope on it, kind of specifically for this kind of purpose.
I'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now, I'm just going to go about what I do during the day, which is just sort of waiting for stuff to happen, and then doing stuff when that stuff happens. There'll be more corpses. There's always more corpses.
Okay, let me see here.
The one constant about this fucking place.
So, while that goes on, hop back to the courtyard.
Would we be at the thing by now?
Yeah, we'd say about this time as they've gone about their thing, probably be, let me drag you up.
I don't know where that is. Please help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just yourselves as you see fit. Go ahead.
Oh,
What kind
oh
of meal
god,
scroll
wait.
do I have?
So you were provided each day with a worker level meal scroll. These provide food that have some hint of flavor at least. They're not just a kind of bland block of nutrition compacted. It's more of kind of raw food, maybe just cooked so it's safe to consume, with, some salt or pepper at the side to add on. And this one does come with, if you are allowed to and whatnot, with some alcohol, though not really the best.
You get grog.
You really got him out here eating like Skyrim NPCs, huh, Caleb?
Yeah, their block of cheese.
Let me get.
Ayumi kind of floats her food and doesn't use utensils.
Luna, like, as she's doing that, like immediately grabs, like, a hold of the food and, like, the plate and tries to pull it down. Yummy.
Yes?
She takes a deep breath in. You do notice. I suppose maybe you don't. Around here, it is frowned upon to be utilizing. She kind of like peeks around Amy and looks at the mind flayer all the way behind her. Do they seem to have like noticed this?
Give me a insight check.
Sure, I can actually do that.
Let me see. Oh yeah, you can tell definitely he's watching this area, and it's unlikely he wouldn't have noticed that, but he does not seem to be acting.
Perhaps it's fine, but I would recommend you not do that. I understand things are different where you were from and you were treated differently. Exhibits of capability, whether it be in terms of force or even psionic ability, can get you into trouble. And I was warned.
Makes other people uncomfortable too. That's part of it.
I'm not chastising you for who you are and what you're capable of. I am mentioning this for your safety and well-being.
Okay. My mom always said it was fine because it's normal. She always floated stuff around and she floated too.
Oh no, I'm sure it's perfectly normal where you came from, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it. I just am trying to protect you here. Typically, mind flayers don't, it's more difficult for them to have any ire with individuals who are capable of such psionic talent. I mean, you see the way they treat the cranium rats around here. That being said, I would just be careful. That's all, dear.
Okay. See,
She-
Ayemi grabbed the fork, and she looks like she does not know how to use it.
Luna kind of looks over to Peg. Miss Peg, do you remember when you would cut up food for me when I was younger?
I do. Let me get this.
Thank
She'll
you very
walk around to the other side of the table.
much. Appreciate it.
So yeah,
Just a baby. She's doing that thing that you do with kids. Teach them. She's got Ayami's hands, and it's like, doing the motions with it. And it seems to have been like just a natural reaction. Like that's immediately what she started doing.
so yeah, you go through showing I think I'm not sitting
Was
through
this
all
what you
that.
thought we were gonna do all session? Huh? Is this what you thought?
Perish melt.
This is what you started.
You're able to go through showing Ayami how to kind of use utensils. I mean, she's 60 and never used them before, so how easy that comes to her is up to you, Tiny.
She's learning. It
is going to be
still
the most
seems foreign to her to actually use your hands to do stuff.
I am so tempted to have Peg be an unintentional asshole and just start feeding her like a baby.
Oh no! It's in her
Do it.
protocol.
Do it.
Protocol.
Will
it.
save wisdom saving throw, baby. If you're conflicted, she's conflicted. Oh dear.
Oh god.
God, Christ in heaven. I imagine it's like this is going to be the most important part of your character arc, Tiny, is learning how to use utensils.
Wisdom save, alright. She handles it. She handles it. She's fine.
There's like a second where you're like, but then you're like, no.
Like,
I
she pauses
can't.
it. Like when she gets the food on the fork, she pauses for a second and like lets her hand go like, there you go. You can do that.
You can probably stab things with a fork and bring them to your mouth on your own.
By God, if she struggles, she's gonna start feeding her.
Oh no.
Ayami is struggling.
No.
Abby.
Why do you use these? Why don't you just use your mind to eat?
Some people can't do that.
Most people can't do that.
Really?
Yes, dear, if I could do that, I would be talking to you without my mouth right now. Because
Oh.
that would be far more interesting.
I thought that was just a cultural thing or something.
Culture.
Whoever your parents are, they must have been talented psionics. That's a trait that's rarely trained into you.
I only had one parent. I don't know if I had a dad.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Well, it's more than a lot of kids can say these days.
Yes, I was never too familiar with my parents. They never really seemed to want to do much with me, and that's perfectly fair. I mean, if you're in this place, bearing child and maintaining a child is, well, it's a challenge. I have not had children myself for the same reason. That, and of course, I am devoted to spreading the word of sort of, the maintenance of, equilibrium in this world of ours. But that aside, I'm sure whoever your father was, he would have loved to have raised you.
Probably would have loved to teach you how to use a fork, but you know.
Yes, I think he would be, he would prefer that, probably.
It just seems so inconvenient.
It's really not. There's a certain pleasure to be found in doing things manually. Back in my day, I even used to perform labor that, say, foremen, if they were ill or unable to operate, and they were feats of strength. Of course, I'm not that capable now, but there's some pride to be taken in honest work, even if it is as standard and simple as gestures to utensils.
It'd be far easier if everyone didn't have to eat like I do.
Yes.
But
I never did get to see my mom eat. She always let me. I always ate alone at dinner.
Oh no, Tiny.
oh no!
Everyone's fucked up in this party.
Well, no, there's a good reason
Not
why her mother didn't let her see her eat.
So,
What are you talking about? I'm having a great time.
but yeah. You see, you are able to finish your food, whatever meal scroll you'd have on hand, which would likely be a worker meal scroll and
You're
whatnot.
not letting me roll to finish my meal? Come on.
Never.
Come on, I want eat dice. Me eat dice.
Okay,
want
well,
dice.
I'm offended
Me
that I
want
got
bite.
the worker meal scroll.
What have you even done to earn it? Like what?
Offended.
I think you're getting.
I would have had
Look, you probably.
I would have had a better meal scroll, but I don't eat.
Sorry, Tiny Quarters isn't here to feed you.
Look, Ayemi probably had better before, but has since been downgraded. But yeah.
Now everybody gets to go to church.
Yay!
Oh, Jesus.
See,
So yeah, you're aware that your church is back down at the bottom hallway, at the far right-hand side.
Drag me.
Oh yeah, drag us actually.
Dragons.
Huh?
There's three
Well,
of us.
Because if we walk, it's gonna be another 30 minutes of repeat.
It would be
I
hurt
will,
yourself with these maps.
I will say, making your way out, you are met by a mind flayer that stood sort of at the top of the stairs and issues a command to wait.
Get a bit.
Peg dies.
Your head
She
explodes.
dies. She just rebuilds herself.
Of course. Is there something awry, if I may so inquire?
We are seeking to ask of you a favor of sorts to help find suitable workers for a job we have in mind. Certainly, someone within the clergy would be more than willing to accept a task we have at hand.
Of course, I'm always willing to serve, but what does my position in the clergy have to do with this task?
It will be much easier for you to convince individuals to take the job that we have in store. It is one of quite a high level of annoyance to us at the moment, and so those more willing to accept a lucrative job would be much appreciated. And usually by lucrative you can tell they usually mean, yes, this will probably get you some very good benefits, but it'll probably also kill you. So we don't have to give benefits.
If we have to give benefits, I mean, we'll do it, but we won't like it.
You know that's typically what they mean by that, and essentially, yeah, he's asking you to send some people off on a job of this caliber.
Well, it would certainly benefit our block to have some beneficial work. What exactly is the nature of such work?
Do you seek to accept this job?
Luna thinks for a moment, and then thinks and sort of looks over to Ayemi and over to Peg. This one is meant to be under my watch. So if I were to accept, it would require me to take her with me. Is there... Well, at the very least, if I'm to be recruiting anyone, even myself, it would likely be best that I know of it of some sort, yes, my liege? Is that not a fair assumption?
Understandable. The job in question is as thus. There have been disturbances down within the mines. Something has made sure that certain miners have not returned, and the Quaggoth we sent to deal with the issue similarly has not returned, nor has the one we sent after that. So, we now feel that it is time for more measures to be taken. The Quaggoths now refuse, even at threat, to go down there. But how joyous and good of you to have accepted such a job, or at least to find someone to deal with this issue for us.
Oh, of course. It would be a pleasure. How... With such benefits that you are offering, I assume that the group you wish to send would be rather small, yes?
We do not care for the size of the group, but any unfortunate accidents that may relate from this job will be duly noted.
Interesting. I feel as though I may be able to find a certain number of individuals. It would also aid in my search if I knew what particulars would be among the benefits, but if that isn't something I'm unable to procure at this time, I completely understand. You may very well not even have all of that in order just yet, so by all means, it is not wholeheartedly necessary, but it would be appreciated if it helps me incentivize those around me to come to your aid.
Let me see. Give me a persuasion check here.
Okay, I'm good at these. Yeah!
24. And let me see here. Say then just be a wisdom check then.
Uh-oh, I might not be good enough at these. Yeah, baby!
Okay. Let's see. The goodwill of the illicit kind should stand as good enough reward for any, but it seems the Quaggoths did not find that to be so. So, we will be reconsidering, and will soon have proper bounty informed to you.
Oh dear, this... Of course, thank you very much. I appreciate your aid in my assistance of you and my superiors. She curtsies to him. Is that all, or is there any other particulars that need to be communicated to me?
That is all. Remain obedient, and be on your way.
As always.
And now with that, I'll drag you to the church.
Inquest.
After that interaction, Peg does give you a look.
Miss Peg, what could possibly be the matter?
She's like, I saw that face you made. I'm afraid you're thinking about doing that yourself.
I certainly wouldn't ever go alone into such a foolhardy venture, Miss Peg. You taught me far better than that. You taught me to always run headfirst into danger with a group of competent others whom I trust.
I never taught. Oh my goodness, I never taught you that.
When we raided the cookie jar.
Is this gonna be my first job?
Listen,
Miss Peg, with all due respect, if I did not, how shall we say, if I was not forthcoming and very openly willing in this particular situation, that could have turned out very bad for me. There is a certain expectation that is upon me to be a force of support for our benevolent overlords, and not providing him with some kind of result would be catastrophic, potentially. Not only that, this is an opportunity to save our block. You were not there this morning, but our productivity is down considerably after losing several individuals, and we do not have the living space to replenish the numbers that we have in such short time. And I fear for, frankly, my own life as well as the lives of those around me. So,
I understand, but I'm just saying I understand it's not fun to send people out to do the dirty work, but
which is why I will be going myself. I need to set a good example, and I need to be willing to do the things that I ask of others. It is the only charitable, structured, and equal way to go about things. You taught me much about fairness, and that has never left me.
fortunately and unfortunately.
Right. Well, if we're going to actually be doing this, and she sort of enters, we're going to need individuals that are actually capable of surviving this. Quaggoths are relatively tough. I've never spoken to them individually, but their use as guardians and protectors of the status quo means that they are quite capable of handling themselves. They're significantly strong and intelligent, which means we need people capable of strength and intelligence.
Looking around as well as you enter your little sanctum, the church and whatnot, you can see that a few people are around at the moment. Obviously not really sort of prime time right now, but a couple are in here just kind of in contemplation. Zerilius is, asleep. Kind of just utilizing the pew as such. Bubbles as well from your cell block is here. Not sure how often he is here. That's kind of up to Juan, but how odd his appearance here is. But
I mean, he went to church right after his illegal dealings like a good little bad boy, so I have no idea.
Juan, how
Very
often would you say Bubbles is in here?
Bubbles is probably in here like, I would say he probably comes in at least once a week. Although he doesn't do much, he kind of just sits there and stares at the wall. And then once you finish, he obviously gets up and leaves.
Oh, thank you, Melatonin, for the 11 months of Prime subscription.
Oh, nice. And I'll say this, right? When you walk in,
so crazy.
he appears to be glass-eyed, but then at some point you see his tongue rolls up and he licks his own fucking eyeball.
Lizard.
Wizard.
Maybe some of us would be more missed than others.
Jeez. Okay.
Sacrificial.
But as well, you do see an oddity that there is a Quaggoth stationed in here. Usually, this place is kind of free from any sort of security or watching. Quaggoths may poke their head in, but lose interest quite quickly. But this one seems to be kind of actively stationed here. He is.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Actually, do I know like that Quaggoths aren't usually in here?
I think Luna would specifically speak up about it, sort of like looking at him, because this is like probably the first time this has happened since she's started running this part of the block, right?
Maybe it's happened a couple other times in the past, but in very unusual circumstances, or it was either very unusual circumstances or they just actually didn't have anywhere else to nap.
I'm gonna speak in its mind.
What do you say?
What are you doing here?
You see it kind of like perks up, kind of scratches at its head a bit. Right, with telepathy, don't have to share a language, so...
Tiny knows undercommon anyways.
Oh, well, easy. So, it's kind of giving you messages of, do not want, exit, leave, don't talk. And he's kind of holding his head. He does not seem to be enjoying that.
Wait, he said do not want?
Yeah, do not
He
want.
wants you out of his head.
Oh, I see. Okay, if you want to sleep.
Okay, so he is just taking a nap.
He looks lethargic, but he's not napping. You know they can get in quite the trouble if they're completely asleep while guarding. Which is actually one of the good ways to tell if they're actually guarding somewhere, if they look tired but are refusing to sleep.
Is he very obviously, like, a little tired? Just from looking at him?
He looks like he's on the brink of entering lethargy.
Alright, for the flock that is here, if you would all please, head further up to the at least first 2 rows of pews. I'm going to be a little quieter today, as our friend here is needing of a little bit of sanctuary. And what are we, if not benevolent and kind to those who protect us, especially above all? Yes. Good, good. Very well. Luna...
does not move to the front.
Bubbles does not move. I'm sorry.
It's she's fine with that. She didn't think she was gonna get everyone anyways.
If anything, it's probably better that he stays back there.
Very well. Now, to begin the sermon for today, I would ask of all of you if you are aware of a story. It's a story that I have told maybe a handful of times before, but obviously not everyone can always make it to sermon every single day, and the crowd can change. Have any of you heard of the mind flayer known as Cthulhu the Wise?
Mel, are you about to tell a whole ass sermon and story?
If you let me, that's going to be a whole 30-minute thing.
How fascinating, Caleb.
It's going to be a brief parable.
Mel busts out.
Let her get a paragraph.
Yeah, they're just a parable and whatnot. Go
Give
ahead.
her 20-minute church scene, okay?
I know if I just know sometimes if I give Mel a minute, she'll take an hour.
Okay, well,
I'm joking. Go on.
Just like in real church, this is a perfect opportunity for me to leave and get something to drink.
Now, Cthulhu the Wise was a very old mind flayer, and possibly one of the most benevolent of all. He was kind and courteous to those he met, even those of us who are so far beneath him. He would take great care in those who he interacted with, and never raised a hand or tendril to anyone unless they acted first. He would feast only among the old and weary, and would even starve himself for periods of time so as to not disrupt the flocks for which he cared. Now, Cthulhu the Wise grew old and venerable, and when his time started to come, his fellows asked of him more and more. This befuddled Cthulhu the Wise, not understanding why a greater presence was asked of him as he grew weaker and weaker. But the truth was this. Cthulhu had become his most valuable to those around him at his most venerable. His life became, to his comrades and even those who he would call friends, worth less and less as he wore down over time. As his body began to ache and creak and fall apart, more and more was demanded of him, and he was afraid. But as any good servant of his people, he was willing. If a mind flayer would be willing to sacrifice himself at the hands of his kin, who are we to not offer our service, our devotion, our defense to them? We should be willing to do as much for them as this one individual did for all of us. Now, she closes the book. Flock, there is a deep need right now. Our overlords, benevolent and strong of will, courageous and mighty, even they are beginning to have doubts. They are worried, not afraid, but worried of an action occurring deep within the minds. There is a threat, something capable of harming workers, even Quaggoths. And they wish not to send forth forces of value. As we are weak and feeble in comparison to our overlords, so too should we be willing to offer ourselves, as Cthulhu the Wise did many moons ago. Now, and she rips a page from her book and pins it to the wall behind her. There is an incentive for this. They are willing to give their benefits to those who are willing to participate in this mission and, of course, come back to retrieve their earnings. Cthulhu the Wise did not ask for anything in return, but our benefactors are so generous, they are willing to give for our service. The page on the wall will remain up there for the remainder of the next hour. If you wish to sign up and participate in this excursion and potentially receive reward, by all means. I will be coming around to the residence of various individuals who have signed in. I'm aware of where most of you reside, but if you believe I'm unfamiliar with you or simply want to clarify, please leave your address on the page. That is all for today, Flock. Thank you very much.
Ayemi's clapping.
Do we clap?
So the other two that are there kind of give just a bit of silent reverence to said and whatnot. They don't really like go to get up and leave, but they don't get up and go to the paper right off the bat. Can see Zerlius in the back kind of starting to wake up. Let me see.
Mel, where's the paper?
It's right behind where the pedestal is with the book on it.
He's gonna fucking eat it.
Please no. Please don't eat him. Please don't eat him. That actually has scripture on it. She didn't really think about what she was doing before. That's scripture on that.
Eat the scripture.
And consumed. And consumed.
Bubble opens his mouth and then takes his finger and just basically scratches in a B into the paper. Then goes back to sit down.
Oh. Thank you very much, Bubbles. It is good to see someone take initiative.
You see, he, like, falls face first into the pew.
Right, of course. Yes.
Glorious.
You see Zerlius raises his hand.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, so what if I put a name up there that's not my name and an address that ain't my address? Do I still get the benefits if it's
No, I will hunt you down. I know specifically.
really, yeah. That really sounds.
I am remaining in this church, so if I see any tomfoolery, there will of course be reconciliation between you and me, and perhaps some individuals will be notified, and you may receive a visit from one betentacled individual.
Alright. Okay, I get you. But let's say that someone.
Let's not say anything more, actually, Zerlius. Let's stop discussing this.
Excuse me, sir, but weren't you asleep for half the sermon?
Hey, 75%.
Right. Sleep with one eye open. That's a
You're
good
asking
thing.
all the wrong questions.
Zerlius, I heard recently, and of course rumors that are terrible spread, and I'm so sorry that this was heard amongst my various speakings with others in the community, but I heard that someone perhaps had some kind of precious mineral, I believe they're called gems, in their possession in their room, and, oh goodness, if someone were to be alerted of that, I mean, potentially you could be searched, or have someone come after you, or maybe be thoroughly questioned.
I get it. I get when I'm not, wanted per se in an area.
For the moment, sir, do not, ever endanger another member of this flock. Particularly if you are wise not to my face ever.
Gotcha. I'll keep that on my own piece of note paper.
That's good. Make sure you do.
He's gonna leave.
What a terrible young man. Awful.
Awful. I didn't raise that one, did I? Pretty sure I didn't.
You kind of got him at the end of his raising. He was in a different daycare for a while, and then you only had him for a couple years.
He shit on the floor like 3 times, and he was 12, so he shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been doing that.
Is church over? I'm back now.
Yes, church is over. So yeah.
Me wandering back in from the bathroom after, quote unquote, after spending 45 minutes in there instead of being in church. Hey, what's up? We done? That's crazy.
Father, I had really
Characters
bad
like
diarrhea.
injured.
Father, I had
Again,
extreme.
not a sin.
Is this in?
Father, I had terrible diarrhea. It was awful. Also, unrelated question: do you have AA batteries that would fit into a Game Boy Color? Just asking.
Actually, Peg, albeit a little bit huffy about it, will, in fact, go up and sign her name onto the paper.
Luna actually looks very shocked when you do that.
And she like signs her little name in cursive, puts like a period, like comes on back.
There's two names on the sheet. One very, very nicely written name. The other is just a singular letter. and it's scratched into the paper, not written.
It's okay, I know who that one is at least.
Does it look like a B? Is it the right letter at least?
Yeah, it's a lowercase b.
If you squint too hard, you might be able to, like, you might mistake it for an 8. Or if you squint at all, or if you, like, don't look at it very, very carefully, you might be able to think it's an 8.
Ayami looks at the paper, and, you see her name beginning to be written on the paper.
Ah, right, of course. Make sure to note me down as well. I am obviously... I should have mentioned, and she addresses everyone, I am obviously going myself.
So, one of the few people in here that do kind of get up, they're a little hesitant, but they sign their name as well,
Fantastic.
and they kind of hurry on out afterwards.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. You can't hide from me. You're gonna have to do the thing you signed up for. This is like extracurriculars at school when there's one really over-involved teacher's assistant.
Oh, I know.
So specific.
Anyway,
But Peg is like, you were you had a point there about generosity and fairness, and do what you can to help other people. And I really can't stand the thought of anybody else going, or anybody fleshy going and doing anything dangerous. I mean, I can't handle knowing probably half of you I knew.
Ayami, you did hear what I never caught their name, unfortunate. The nice mind flayer who spoke to us. You did hear when he explicitly said this was going to be dangerous, essentially, yes?
No, he said that I forgot these
Minor-
things' names.
Miners went
Quaggas.
disappeared, and then Quaggas
The
disappeared.
Quaggas didn't want to do it. I thought maybe there was something smelly down there or something.
Oh, honey.
It's possible. We may not be walking into something physically dangerous necessarily. It's worth keeping in mind that people can go missing for other reasons. And perhaps there was some kind of cave-in or something and they're simply trapped. Hopefully they brought some meal scrolls with them.
what? No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, never mind.
Oh, yeah. If they had-
She is basically trying to, like, almost lie, essentially, to Ayami. Not because she wants to be dishonest, but because she knows that she'll still probably go anyways, because she kind of has to go, because Luna's going.
I mean, you don't have anybody else to stay with?
Me?
She's supposed to be directly under my watch. I legally cannot, well, not let her leave my sight unless she's accompanied by a mind flayer, but that would require finding a mind flayer who is willing to spend time with her, and for some reason, they're very skittish of her. And additionally, they are too busy most of the time to what they effectively believe is babysitting, which I understand is what you do, and you do it very well, but they don't seem to agree of its importance.
There's a lot of things they don't find important that I disagree with, but if that's the case, then I am definitely tagging along.
Well, by all means, we should be able to have a rousing conversation about that once we are far, far away from this place of Illithid worship.
So I'm so sorry. Why is Bubbles sideways? It's been killing me.
Laying down.
Is he?
He's
Fucking-
taking
He is sleeping.
His head is
Like
knocked out.
He's
The way-
effectively ragdolled onto the pew.
Love it.
It's like a Gmod like fucking skit where he's just he floated like from the note into the pew face first, and he's stuck in it bleeding.
Right now, Bubbles is like rapidly. You know how like when you put two like props together that aren't supposed to be together, and then it starts jiggling like crazy. That's what Bubbles is doing on the pew.
No.
So yeah,
Okay.
Bubbles licks his eye again.
I'm sorry.
His eyeball
is-
must be dry.
Is that okay? Or him?
Yes. Him. I'm not entirely sure he's ever okay. To be perfectly honest with you, Bubbles, are you with us? Are you okay? Are you perfectly fine? Right.
That didn't sound
Mama?
okay.
Elaborate.
Are you talking to Bubbles?
Yeah, she's talking to Bubbles.
Elaborate.
Elaborate on your
You're like, I can't do it right now because I don't got no like I got no fizziness in me. But he burps essentially.
Well,
I speak to Bubbles in his mind. Is there any response? Any?
So, Caleb, you want to explain to Tiny what happens when she does that? Because remember, campaign background feature.
Let me see here.
uh-oh, I know which one you took. Oh, Tiny, I'm so sorry, Tiny.
So tapping kind of into his mind, you're not really hearing too much in there, but it's giving you this great feeling of discomfort. You're kind of feeling the addledness that his mind is in. You feel a little dizzy, a little off kilter once you connect with his mind.
Yami, are you alright?
Woozy. And
You're looking a little green in the face, dear. Maybe you should sit down.
yeah.
Your meal scroll should have been adequate. I've never, in all my years, had anything along the lines of food that is spoiled.
That doesn't mean people don't get food poisoning.
No, I'm just... You're right, Miss Peg, sorry.
No need to apologize. I'm just saying. And she like goes about, starts like petting Amy gently.
Something's wrong with Bubbles' head.
Well,
And-
that's a little obvious. Not to be mean.
You look at the metal part of his head, like the metal plate that's there.
Something has obviously been done to him. I'm not sure if it's the tank of what I can only assume to be some kind of gas.
Gas.
On his back.
Okay.
Stop!
Gas.
It's one of the three main states of matter. We cannot do that every time it is stated.
Oh god, does that mean my room is already filled with it?
Howard.
In any case,
So yes, yeah.
One of the thing I can also say, Yemi, from other creatures that could also possibly have the lurking, what was it called? Lurking fear? So yeah, the lurking fear feature. There's also just, pain. It just hurts.
Oh.
It's not great.
See Bubbles kind of like slides onto the floor.
Oh dear.
He's getting up. So he
Poor thing.
starts like attempting to walk out the door.
Bubbles, where are you going? Where are you going to? You're not well.
Work. So you see Bubbles replies like,
Well,
Work.
if we are to be doing this, we'll be leaving later where will you be so that I can retrieve you if you're still walking?
stuff.
Well, that's more than I've gotten out of him pretty much the entire time he's been here, which is a number of years.
You've known him a while.
Not really. I've seen him, more like it. I've tried to get to know him, but he's mostly nonverbal. Those are the first words I've heard from him in a long while.
Well, Bubbles will speak was just like you've heard him speak.
Yeah, that's. I don't think she's interacted with him super duper often, is what I'm saying. And when she interacts with him, he doesn't necessarily speak.
Is Bubbles?
He makes sound.
He tends to make sounds more than actually respond. I don't know. Something, I mean, clearly happened to him, but
Is he sick? Why does he have that thing on his back?
it's a head injury. I could posit a few guesses, but I will not have blasphemies in my church.
Speaking of things happening,
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm inserting myself in the campaign.
So yeah,
Richard.
I have gotten back from a very unsuccessful venture of lowering a zombie down a corpse chute. Did he come back? Did I get him back?
let's talk about that. So you tied up the zombie and you
Yeah.
lowered him down.
Uh-huh.
Did you keep a hold of the rope or the
Oh, he's on
turn
the
winch? Yeah.
I was keeping on the winch, just to have him see if he could just like
So
just push it out of the way.
I mean, in theory, he's lowering zombies into there is a great composter, because eventually you're gonna get filled all up. But the zombie, he can break those down even further with his big teeth. And then he explodes, and then you don't have a zombie problem anymore. It's brilliant.
Do zombies
So-
poop?
lowering.
Why did that have to be asked? Why? Why? No, like, but why though? Hey, real
Moving on.
So yes,
Wait,
lowering.
but why though? Hey, Keith, my good friend. But why though? But why ask?
So-
Actually,
So Lavender, lowering the zombie down on the winch, he would have gone down. There would be obviously some slack once he had gotten to the bottom. The rope would have likely at some point gone taut again, and he would not be on the end of the rope when you pulled it back up.
I'm not gonna try that again until later. I'm gonna call it there, and make the logical conclusion that there's something nasty down there,
nasty
or he
and
fell
bad.
off, or there's a second cliff that he fell off of and then cut the rope. Always an option.
His grand escape.
Into the corpse pit.
Living the good life.
Also,
So,
I would like to clear up some misconceptions here. Despite the propaganda that Caleb has said, I have only ended up with one dead assistant, and that wasn't even entirely my fault.
Really,
So-
when you think about it, he shouldn't have started eating human flesh of dead people. Like, that was kind of his undoing.
No,
That was his prerogative.
It was his prerogative to Hannibal Lecter some fools.
He didn't even get properly shroomed. If I go shroomed, then I would. He got nabbed for other shit. Unfortunate.
Having a tasty brain. You hate to see it. It's illegal.
Well, he had jokes on them. That who knows what prions he got after that.
The illithid. Wow,
Fucking
tasty
hell.
Freon.
I guess also coming from that direction, you would have passed Zerilius in the hall if you'd have anything to say to him.
No.
All right.
Simon.
Man.
I recognize him. I do not talk to him.
As anyone who recognizes him should do.
Yeah, but not for the same reasons other people don't.
Oh,
Got it.
Just because I don't want to.
you don't want to infect him with spores and suddenly have
No.
him mindlessly following you around, because that would be annoying.
Listen, I don't just go around infecting people with spores. What the fuck?
I know, I was making a joke.
This is racism again.
That's
But-
not what that is.
Damn, no.
Oh.
I will ask and check. do we want to continue on or call it there for today?
I haven't gotten to
how you
meet
feeling, Penny?
Lavender.
I still
How you
got
feeling, Tank?
like 30 minutes in me.
It's
Okay.
fine. Quick,
Okay.
tight 30 RP. Let's go.
Half an hour can probably be good enough to get everything established so that we can bump out next session and be like, and now the thing is done. You're doing it.
Okay. So yeah, you're
Knock, knock, knock. There's a knocking at the door.
Get the fuck in here.
Who's that at the door? You know
Church
this.
during operational hours, everyone always knocks all the time.
Say, oh, Caleb. In the meantime, yeah, Bubbles would have probably looked for something to do, like some sort of work.
okay.
So just to get in his meal scrolls or whatever.
Okay, got it.
Oh, Miss Lavender.
You
it's
open open the door as I'm about to knock again, and you get knocked, but only once.
Bonk.
Ah,
Oh.
good. It's very nice to see you, Miss Lavender. I'm glad you ended up coming around. Typically, you end up having a bit of well, forgive me, but a bit of forgetfulness about you. So it's nice that it was important enough for you to remember and come around. I'm very pleased.
Yeah, I don't. Was not too busy today.
Oh, please tell me you washed your hands before you just accidentally touched my face and intentionally touched the doors of my church.
I have gloves that I wear. Come the fuck on. I am.
But did you take them off?
Yes, I took them off. What do you think me to be? Some kind of fucking.
She's just asking. She doesn't know what procedure is.
Don't take it too hard, Tambo. She just
Come
had
on,
Bubbles in
man.
the church.
Do I look like? Mel, I put my hand on your shoulder. Do I look like a goblin to you?
No,
I
you
know.
look like someone with
You-
a fungal infection in their face, brain, and
What are you talking about?
body. Well, either way, it's very pleasant to see you. I'm glad work was a little easier today. Typically, you've been swamped, especially lately. At least that's what I've heard. And not from the source, obviously. Although if you did, I can't imagine you'd remember somewhat. Sermon just ended, unfortunately, but there is actually something I wish to speak with you about if you still have some time.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Of course. Follow me inside.
Who's your friend?
Hello. That's
yes.
Dr. Tambourine talking.
Yes, Miss Peg, I don't know if you recall her. She certainly looks a little bit different if you have seen her, since that was likely a while ago. This is Miss Lavender. She's the, would you call it a mortician, your position?
Yes. Yes, that is what I am. Yes. Hi.
Well, hey there, sweetheart. You don't look familiar to me. It's nice to meet you. And she'll hold her little coral hand out.
How recently did Lavender appear here, actually?
I have been down here for a while. I don't know how long I've been specifically here. I know I've worked the same place for a while, but they keep shuffling me around actual living places.
I see.
I'm pretty sure Peg didn't raise this one.
No, yeah, they.
I want to grow up to be just like you. Okay, well that's very sweet. No, I mean like aesthetically. What does that mean?
Oh my god, she's like,
Wait,
"Ooh."
20 years.
But Lavender has probably only been here perhaps a couple weeks or a week and some change. Well, yeah, in this cell block, that is.
Yeah, I've been down here for some amount of time. Gestures vaguely.
You've been around
Yeah.
and been places.
She's fairly green, so she doesn't necessarily. I don't believe you visited most of what we have here, although I suppose you've been to places where they've certainly, most likely, a little bit more affluent than here.
There
We're not-
aren't a whole lot of dead people around here very often. So I don't come around too much. Or Yeah.
I suppose that's nice in one way and Oh, God. I'm not
I'd
getting
just say it's a good thing. Let's be fair.
it. Yes. But what I was going to speak with you about, Miss Lavender, I hate to ask of you, something this particularly strange and potentially dangerous, but you tend to handle some of the most dangerous things that come across the more mundane aspects of living here. And so I figured I'd shoot my shot while I had it.
It's a lot easier when they're not moving anymore.
Well, we may be encountering a lot of things that aren't moving anymore. If that helps, it will certainly outnumber the things moving. We're almost certain. She sort of explains the proposition given to her, and all the details therein, including like the fact that the miners didn't come back, the fact that the Quaggoths didn't come back, and especially denotes the benefits, stating, "I don't know what kind of meal scrolls you are getting currently, but in my opinion, in spite of any goodwill given by those above us, I cannot imagine it is enough for the kind of work you do. It would never be enough."
Listen, I looks at you completely cluelessly. What the fuck are you on about?
What she's mostly saying is dealing with the dead in these potential, like, harmful environments and seeing the grotesqueness that you have to see every day. There's probably not, like, the incentive of the types of scrolls you are getting is probably not enough, and there's, in her, at least in her personal opinion, doing the kind of work that she would consider very traumatic every single day is probably not, like, worth it. It's how, like, a lot of people who are unfamiliar with, like, morticianry, I feel, would interact with that, because it would be very disturbing to a lot of people who are not familiar with the profession, and that's kind of, like, where she's coming from.
I don't think I understand exactly what you mean. They're just dead.
Fair enough. Perhaps Go ahead.
It's easier to work with them a lot of the time than people that aren't dead.
I suppose...
Peck puts a hand on Luna's shoulder and kind of like, just like, she's got a lot going on, doesn't she?
Don't we all, Miss Peg?
I sort of okay, Peg. Now that you are talking again, I've refocused my attention on you. I sort of.
I began kinning Lavender, ADHD queen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Survive, thrive.
I gesture at all that you got going on your head. Do they hear them? On your
Excuse
head?
me? Oh, you mean the coral?
Is it alive? Too?
I mean, not really. Sweetheart, do you hear what they did? She like gestures to your head. Then, like, does that talk to you?
No, not talk.
Communicate. I mean,
Yes.
In its own way. Smiles.
oh dear. Well,
Genuinely smiles.
like she sees the genuine smile, and she still seems kind of disturbed. But like she's not as bothered as she would be.
Miss Peg,
But-
with all due respect, I am a holy woman. I can completely understand what Miss Lavender's talking about. Communication is not even necessarily the best way to describe the experience of connecting to another being beyond the comprehension of others. In this I can, well, very fully relate, I believe, although I would not for a moment suspect that our experiences are wholesale similar.
You
She
say
kind
it
of-
like that, you worry me too.
Luna genuinely smiles back at Lavender and then turns to Peg and says,
I am confused. Does she also have things living inside of her brain? Now I am concerned in character.
Oh my god.
I don't understand what's going on.
You get a pat with the. You get a pat with Peg's other hand, and she's. I'm sorry, I was so tempted to say it's okay. The adults are talking.
You're like, she's like 60. Come on, man.
I know. Well, she's an elf or something, so that's pretty young.
Yeah, that's young for an elf. But Luna continues and says, either way, regardless of any other incentives, I would feel a lot safer with the doctor around. I can only do so much. And
I can only do so much too. You need me to embalm you?
No!
Don't be
Is she a
mean to your
doctor or is she a
No.
magician?
You don't plan on ending up dead, do you?
Well, I'm not saying it's an impossibility. And to be
Okay, actually, one
Hmm.
second. Caleb, 1 second.
Yes.
You said those Quaggas disappeared, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me whisper you something real quick.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And by whispering,
Caleb, were you a nice
don't-
GM?
I don't remember the messaging.
It's /W and then whatever you,
And so
Too
W
late.
space.
I'm already typing it in Discord.
Here we are,
here we are. And here we go.
feeling lost, but copyright strike.
Oh my god.
I mean, obviously we maintained the rhythm and sort of the musical tone of that so well, we would certainly be DMCA'd. Certainly. Here
I
go
love
with it.
D&D.
It's great, isn't it? There's like dice and stuff.
Man, the whole party be fucked up.
This is an Illithid. This is an
It
Illithid
really is.
society campaign of oppression. Did you think it was going to be fun times with Sunshine, Tiny?
In this case, we really do live in a fucking society.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe not
it-
Peg though.
Yeah, I feel like Peg's the least fucked up. She's like, I raise kids. I don't know what the hell happened to all of y'all.
I'm a sentient robot with a prime directive of helping children. My life is pretty sweet.
Like, I don't like seeing what happens to them, but I'm not fucked up any further than I have to be about it.
I don't
I
ever.
was like, you guys work? Why do we need to work? You don't get food for free? This is weird.
Like, you just don't eat and then enjoy your life? What the fuck?
How do you be living in the world where fantasy Bernie Sanders won the election?
My final message. 3 health potions.
They killed
for
Dad
all.
Illithid.
Oh my god.
Oh no, that was her dad.
Dad was Bernie Sanders.
No.
I am once again asking for a crumb of gray matter. If you all donate a fraction of your gray matter, the brain damage will be
For
minimal, and I will be stated for another 1,000 years.
1% of illithids consume 99.9% of the brains. As president, as the elder brain.
Oh my-
Why am I still here? Just to suffer.
because you have to determine whether our roles for the funny jokes that we make
Yes.
succeed.
One day I'm gonna make an entirely self-sufficient campaign where I can leave at any point.
It's called a DMless RPG. You could play that on your own time. Right
Oh,
now,
okay.
I own
Why can't they just kill Bubbles? Why must they keep him alive?
No.
just so that he can suffer. Oh.
Hey, give me like 2 more seconds after Caleb responds to this, and we can keep. Okay.
Good.
Hambo?
It's not like the
I got
information
unlocked.
he was giving.
Oh my god,
Okay.
the elephant took him. Oh my god, oh my god.
They took me. Me, the player.
Oh shit, oh fuck.
Okay, a little bit after you guys give the info about like what the deal hole is.
Mm-mm.
4 days ago, there were two specimens, severe lacerations on them, incredibly infected, severe necrosis. They were from the mines, I think.
Necrosis. In other words, their bodies were deteriorating at a rapid rate?
No,
Is that-
just the wounds. It's incredibly impressive. Incredibly fresh, but showed stages of gangrene not seen usually until after weeks.
Right. We may really need
A couple
your
other cases of humanoids under the same treatment, though in much finer pieces. Not whole like the creatures.
Right. Maybe we especially need your expertise then. This sounds infectious, potentially. Disease-laden. And if not, if you want some personal interest, they may be worth examining. If you've got a curiosity, rather than just an obligation as the on-site mortician. I would be extremely thankful for your help.
Considers. So you go down into the mines together to look for what it is, right?
Yes.
As a group of yeah.
There will
Got
be a
it.
group. It will be if we need to escape, we will likely be able to do so and regroup and figure out a better way to deal with it. I don't assume they will care if it's a one and done or not, as long as this thing is dealt with before it becomes a greater problem.
And if anyone dies, I can help.
Yes. Correct. That is kind of the... I do hope it doesn't come to that, but there is as I said, a likelihood, so...
Yeah. I
Yes.
think it would be nice to go somewhere else. I think it would be nice to leave, yes. But
Oh, it'd be
only
nice
for-
to leave.
We're going to so many places. This is really
Yeah.
exciting.
We are. As a group of people who want to do the thing together. It'll be fun. Or maybe it won't, but it'll be different. And I like things that are different than what they are.
Yes, there is a part of me that is excited at the idea of being able to, well, not fresh air, but get some different kind of air, no matter how dank and wet it might be.
Some new scenery, if anything.
And so, with that, we'll leave off as the party is slowly coming together, soon to face the dark terrors of the mines, the lower portion of the Underdark. Who knows what they'll find then? But on one note that was left off, the air will be dank and it's 4:20. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
Happy
Yay!
420 Weed Day.
Happy Funny Weed Day, everybody.
Thank you
I
guys.
Hope you all have a thank you for watching.
That's
Thank
where
you
we'll
for
leave
watching.
off for today.
I hope some of you are massively just completely toked up, except you minors don't smoke the weed yet. But
Minors totally
all of the
smoke
legal
weed.
Man, I hope no minor
It's
watches
good
the
for your
stream.
I
brain.
know nothing about weed.
Shut the
going
fuck
on.
up,
You're
Keith.
enjoying the weed that
Going
you
on.
have.
Weed
in
is
front
so
of you.
good. Just shovel it into your mouth.
So, yes,
Anyway,
Go for it.
Tiny,
I-
please get the
I-
stream.
Wait,
Have a good
wait.
day.
First. I want to say thank you guys for coming out in such a major way to this. It's great to see people watch our stuff and that people still like our stuff. I know we've been a little less consistent over the past couple months. Life's just been hellish, and we've said it before, but like life comes first before the things we create. But at the same time, we care a lot about your support, and we care a lot about what you guys contribute, and having a community is super awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed.
Wait. And before you go, Tiny, I need you
We
to
love
share
you,
something.
kissy emojis. Mwah.
Tiny, I need you to share something in the chat.
Oh,
Let me see.
also, just so that it's known,
Just as-
Deep
just
in
as-
Thought is ran every other week at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
7:30 for all you Eastern folks. Like,
Me and Bell.
I was going to say
Tiny.
Barack Obama, and that's definitely
He
not
lives
true.
in Chicago. He is a Central Time Zone.
Hello, everybody.
Actually,
My
he's
name's
still-
Barack Obama, and I know how to beatbox. What a little move. sorry, I'm sorry.
I wish that were me.
Okay,
The worst.
just hit him with that,
Tampa, I'm not showing this on stream.
coward.
You have to.
Anyways,
No.
Wait. God damn it, Tiny.
I'm gonna end the stream. Everyone say bye.
Bye.
I love you. Mwah.
Mwah.